It's New Year's Eve. So welcome along. Merry New Year's Eve. Is that a thing you say? It is now. How is everyone this fine day? I hope people are doing well. This is the final stream of 2024, and that makes me a little sad. I'm very, very keen to keep this going. So who knows? Maybe this will end up being a little bit longer than I'd originally planned. Depends how much dread the prospect of watching Villa fills me with a little bit later. But yeah, welcome along. We've got some fabulous recognisable faces in already this evening. We've got a Crudmo in nice and early, calling us all muster gimps. He assures us it's a term of endearment. I must confess, I prefer muster dorks or muster nerds. I don't want to go so far as to say, like Musterman and his bunch of merry muster men. That just feels a little bit too culty. So some muster dorks, muster nerds, that seems about right. We have a Holly Fab in. We've got Johnny Trotter here as well. Adam is in the last hour or so of work, bored to tears from the sound of things, which I completely understand. He hasn't given us the phone number, unfortunately, of the phone that he needs to man for this last hour or so, which is a shame because we could have called him up on stream. That would have been quite fun. Carlcoot Smelsh is in. Welcome in. He's got a fine afternoon for some email chicanery. I'd love to know what you're getting up to. Hungdon Min is here. Hank is in, and Hank says, "Ah!" And I completely feel you on that, man. Completely feeling that. Thankfully, the day isn't quite as... I was going to say the day is nearly over, but I appreciate that over in the sunny states, it's a little bit longer to go. But it will be over. It will be over eventually. ACAB is here. We've got Demir over on YouTube. We've got Knight of Knee over on YouTube. He welcomes us by saying knee. And there's only one way we can respond in kind. Knee. FMGNG is here. Necrosis is here. Ladislav Almasi is in as well. Fabulous to see you all. So let's do a little bit of a catch up on where we are. Knight of Knee does want to say that he's here to bully my Patreons into picking Sporting. They just won the Lisbon derby yesterday with their new coach, the second since Mariehamn left. It's good to see that the new coach is settling in a lot better than the one that replaced Mariehamn. So I'll give a little bit of context about that. It's been a few weeks since we've done the last full episode, like the full detail Moneyball clinic on Borussia Dortmund. We did a two-parter, which was great fun, which means that we've got another one that's got to come up, and my lovely Patreons who are on the Continental license get voting rights on that, and it's currently a dead heat. There are 3 teams out for vote. Well, I say currently. The last time I checked, it was a dead heat, equal 50% votes. So I have said that if you want to have your input and you don't want to sign up to Patreon, you need to bully those patrons into voting with your wishes. So Knight of Knee is putting his flag in the sand there. He's asking you to vote for Sporting. The wonderful, the amazing Moonu Streams has been trying to coax people into voting for Here and Veen. And no one seems to be all that keen on, or no one's putting their claim out for Roma as it is just yet. But we've got plenty of time. So it's his first match and first win ever over Benfica. That is quite incredible. Now, I'm sure, I hope you can see the chat now. Which side is it? It's that side. Knee. They are saying knee. And Crudmo is going for knee Lamptey. A classic throwback there. Campiorinus is in from Cyprus. Lovely to see you, my dude. Welcome in. I can see that we've got N1CBE in as well. Is that Nickby? I'm going to be calling you Nickby, if that's okay.
It's not the statistics. You
tell me. How can you measure someone that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle? Incredible. Relay Halhagen pressing with the resubscribe. That's 2 months. You're an absolute gent. Thank you very much. And that is a very fine point to head on over and catch you guys up. So, I've done something a little naughty. Not that naughty. I mean, this is what we've done with the last couple of pre-seasons, is that I've played a couple of friendlies off stream, just so that we can move on. We've spent two streams so far on the transfer window. I wanted to get us up to the next competitive game. So that means that some of those transfers that we were talking about and planning on the last stream might have happened a little bit. Now, I do see, so ACAB asks, how many patrons do I have? I have wonderful, I think there's something in total, including the ones on the free tier and on all the various tiers, there are 40 patrons, which is absolutely incredible. There's about 20 or so, I believe, 25, I think, maybe, on the Continental license. We also have the Continental License Pro, which is the exact same as the Continental license, but for £3 more, you get a gift Twitch subscription as well. So that way, kind of, you get all the things, and if you're likely to do both, it keeps it all in one place, and you get a little bit of a discount if that's something you're thinking of. So Ladislav asks, where do I find the vote? The vote is in the hidden part of the Discord. So there is a special members only thing for the Patreons where they can then vote. So I am a naughty man. I do appreciate it. And exactly as Johnny Trotter says, you need to bully the Patreon members to influence the next. So it's not the mini money ball. It's the full money ball. I need like a major money ball. We'll call it major money ball. So Nee says, thanks folks, Nee to you all, but only a shrubbery shall appease me, or a sporting money ball. That's fair. He's no RJ today. It doesn't appear to be that. It is quite early. It is, I expect that this is coming up to prime dinner prep time for those in Central Europe. I appreciate that Holy Fab is here and Campurinus is in as well. But for us English, for Night of Knee and the Portuguese contingent as well, possibly a little bit better in that regards. Major money ball. That's what we're going with. That's a DM bassist. Welcome in, DM bassist. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, let's catch you up. We've moved forwards, literally, perhaps just we've moved on just over 3 weeks, and during that time we've had some movement. We knew that we had already planned that we're going to transfer list Olawale. We're going to transfer list Shambost. We're trying to move on Ajala and Machado and Foncel. Thank you for the rehydrate. So we've had that, and we were looking to find ourselves a goalkeeper. We finished the stream yesterday, having signed the wonderful person that has been mentioned in the comments already, Timo Stavitsky. Timo Stavitsky came from the Champions into Turku on a free transfer. He's a tricky little winger. Runs with the ball down the right, knocks the ball past the opponent, sends it into the box. I believe he's the first player we've had who's actually able to cross, which is an amazing thing. We supplemented that with the signing of let's hope here we've got, where is Billy Kumetio, former Liverpool youngster, the Cameroonian centre-back Billy Kumetio. He comes in, he's quite tall, he can jump, he can head, he can tackle. We've really strengthened in literally two potentially key star players, both on free transfers, which is amazing, both on under £1,000 a week. But that isn't all the movement. That is not all the movement. Now, if we go forwards here we've got Kumecho, we've got Stavitsky, we've got the transfers out from last season. So, Crudmo, tell Knight of Knee I am a shrubber. Roger, the shrubbery. Well, it's all good and well being a shrubber, but are you going to bring forth a shrubbery? Belle Poscioni is in. Welcome in, Belle. How are you doing? Wait till you get to 2000. We have these things called computers. A pretty strong pun on the 1800 there, yeah. Have I got a drink yet? I am just on the soft drinks. I will always be on the soft drinks. Yeah, so it's just a smidge past 4 p.m. here. A bit too early for dinner in Portugal. Right, I'm leaving. I thought maybe you transfer listing Olawale was some form of nightmare I had. I'm sorry, DMB. I'm sorry. It gets even worse because as we move forwards to the next page, he's no longer our player. £400,000 makes him our record sale ever, beating the 375k.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, DM Basis, you absolute gentleman, sending out a gift subscription to Campio Arenas. What a gentleman. Yes, so sadly, Olawale is gone. Now, just literally, I was hoping that we'd wait until at least this stream before he'd leave so we could have a proper send-off. But literally about 2 days after I pressed continue, they all came to me saying, you've got to sell him. And I was like, well, I know I'm going to sell him, so we'll agree to it. And in came the Graafschap. They offered just under his minimum release clause, but I always said that if we get somewhere around 300 to 350k for him, that is a sizable amount of money. And so he is now gone. He is now a De Graafschap player, and I feel very, very sad and a little hollow inside. But we've got to do it for the good of the team. We know that we're going to lose him. We know that that kind of money is quite significant, and better now to prepare ourselves. After a bad season, we've probably got a little bit more leeway to maybe take a step or two backwards to push ourselves forwards in the long term. This would be much tougher to take had we perhaps, if we were challenging for the league last year, replacing someone like Olawale would feel really, really difficult, because getting a player of that quality ready at that moment would be quite tricky. I mean, we've got Timo Stavitsky who can play out on the wing, which is grand. We've also got, the end of last season, we put in a loan bid for Boris Fartuna. Fartuna, what a name. By the way, Bell, thank you very much for the bits, you absolute gentleman. I really do appreciate it. Campuanis says Cyprus is well behind in technology, to be fair. Fair play. Could we get Timo Werner? We couldn't get Timo Werner. So this is Boris Fartuna. We took a bit of a swing. He's in on loan. He's only got 6 months left on his contract, so we can only loan him for 6 months and then potentially bring him in on a free. And he's a very one-track player from the looks of things. He's got decent acceleration in place. He can dribble. He can cross. Pretty much what we need for a right winger. So he will be the backup to Stavitsky. And between the two of them, I think we've got that side covered, which is nice. Billy Camacho is the go-to free agent for lower league saves. I mean, understandable. Like as I was saying, his name popped up during like the Moneyball Clinic series quite a bit as a player not quite at the level to be elite, but certainly would be great at like a championship level, possibly well beyond the level of Finland. So I'm genuinely stoked that we've managed to get hold of him. So Knight of Knee says, I knew that Crodmo was a man of culture. One of his shrubberies shall appease me in the event of Sporting not being chosen. Need to get onto that then, I think. I think you need to get onto that. So I do apologise. I'm already, I'll be honest. So did you say he's on £7,250 per week? He's on £7,250 per week. That is more than actually, it's not more than most of our players. He earns in 2 weeks more than some of our players, which is quite incredible. Absolutely incredible. More minutes for Slaymar, indeed. Okay, Knight of Knee can also save the shrubbery for his birthday if Sporting wins. It's in January. That's a gifted sub in protest of the Olawale sale for what it's worth. That's fair. So Jonathan Edwards says scouting in Portugal, I see. We're not scouting in Portugal as far as I'm aware. We don't have the money to scout, so we're not actually scouting anywhere technically. We do send our scouts on actions to check out some players as they're brought to us. Now we have brought in some other players on loan. We have quite a sleepy new number one goalkeeper. Oscar Snore is going to be our starting goalkeeper. Brought in on loan from Randers. He came up in the search of people who are available on loan, and he again is a player whose contract expires in about 6 months' time. So Hank is off to Argentina to smuggle in the best 16-year-old wonder kid you've ever seen. That's a bold claim. Now you need to show us that for sure. Holifab has said Super Burren ut the Achterhoek hoop de Graafschap. I will take your word for it, and I apologise for every single bit of the butchering that I just did there. So Oscar Snore has come in. He looks to be kind of pretty good at the things that I like. Agility, reflexes, rushing out, positioning. Not so good on decision making, which is my only concern. And he tries to play way out of trouble despite not being particularly good at the technical side. But as a sweeper keeper, I think on paper, he looks like a step up from what we've had in recent years. And that said though, we do have our backup option, which is Farty Artie Marty. Artie Martin kind of played in a couple of those friendlies, was average at best, I think. But he's willing to take the league a minimum £240 per week, so that gives us a backup. Now, the other change that's happened is Dylan Shamboss has been sold. We only got 160k for him. So just to let you guys know where I am on chat, I've just reached people saying fart tuner, which is the best part. I mean, we've got to be happy that we've got a player called Fart Tuner. Jonathan Edwards says that's Timu Pukki money. Exactly. We've got good money out of Olawale. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fart. Well, Fart Tuner can. That's what he does. I think he's gas. He stinks. There's some good puns coming in. There's good puns coming in. So I want to see the winger partnership of Fart Tuner and Near Salmon. Near Salmon. Farting near salmon is definitely unacceptable. So the football janitor is that's Quadmo over on YouTube. So I'll ignore you. You're just going over there to talk to Knight of Knee. Oscar Snore. He's boring indeed. That's easy for you to spell. So give that man a moustache. Give that man which man a moustache? Give Oscar Snore a moustache? Give Artie Martin a moustache? Give Boris Fortuna a moustache? I don't know who you want to have a moustache, but we will give a man a moustache. Great names per 90 off the charts for this team. We are building a meme team, even if we don't mean to. Oh, Brazilian Fury is here. Bless you very much for the bits, my dude. How are you, sire? How was the WWE stuff? I understand absolutely nothing about WWE, I'm afraid, or wrestling in general. But yeah, I'd love to know how that went on at the weekend. So let's hope Snore won't be sleeping in matches. Very nice, very nice. Paddy _ is here. Good evening from Pitch Black, Finland. I don't know if this is an odd request, but I've been watching your videos and I'm trying to follow your steps, how to figure out what is not working tactically. I don't know if it's possible to make a tutorial video how to understand data. What I would suggest is if you pop to the, go back to FM24, there is, there's a one that Quadmo has recommended. I'd also recommend popping back to my videos from FM23, where there's a series about Ajax. And like the second episode is about looking to observe what you're trying to find, identifying your own tactical understanding of what you're looking for, and then how to observe through games what you need to adjust. That might be quite helpful as well. Unless that is the one that Quadmo has already recommended. Who knows? I can't recognise by URL. There's a fellow wrestling fan in chat and see. So Saturday stream was fine, a bit different, but the new layouts are working. Marvellous. Marvellous. Snore should have a moustache because it means moustache in Dutch. Marvellous. Marvellous. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to draw him at some point, so we'll definitely add a moustache. We will definitely add a moustache. Now, that's not all the transfer activity. So, Forstrom is going to be leaving for Degerfors in February for 50,000. Pedro Machado is going to be going to Pacific FC for 81,000. Matthias Ajala is leaving for 150,000 to York United. And Adam Larson is basically hopefully going to leave on a free transfer to one of these teams. He's already turned down one team on a free transfer that apparently he was very interested in joining. So we'll see whether we got him. We also have a loan in for this gentleman, Melvin Vucinovic Persson. Persson is definitely the easier part of his name to do. He's got a fine moustache, a lovely little like 1920s thing going on there. With the undercut, beautiful stuff. Can play anywhere down the left. He can pass, so he could potentially be our wide playmaker. I mean, a player that can pass is essentially makes him one of our best players. He appears to be reasonably quick. He can't dribble, but he can cross, he can tackle. So he can also be there as an option to replace Daniel Enquist. So that should give us a lot of options there, which will be nice. So let's see. Adam says, I seem to recall having Snort at Lingby back on FM19. Think I wrote about what a good prospect he was. Don't ruin him like I did Shambosh. Well, I mean, we've only got him for 6 months. So maybe his fate will be the same as Shambosh's. Who knows? We'll find out. How to become a Musterman. Step 1, feed the Quadmo. Indeed. Paddy _ thank you guys. I'm trying to best to build my own tactic. I suck at the game, but I really enjoy FM. It's not that you suck at the game, you're just still learning. We're all still learning. And then once we finally feel like we've got to grips with it, a new FM will come out and we'll have to start learning all over again. RJ is in. Hello, RJ. Welcome in, my dude. So we're kind of almost set for a squad. Now, all I want really now is an attacking midfielder, someone to play as the shadow striker. We've got a couple of trials that have come in very, very recently. Mamadou Diane. Looks like he could be quite a good player, can play in a lot of places. We haven't got full view of his attributes yet, so he's injury prone. He might be quite well rounded, but once we get a couple more weeks in, we'll know how rounded he actually is. And then we've got Noah Alexanderson. We have even less information on. He's also injury prone. But again, young players, both of them are, I say both are Swedish. Dean's whole career has been at Malmo. So he's not Swedish. He is Senegalese. But he kind of fulfills the Swedish-y element that we're going for. So that brings us all the way up to date. We've had a pretty decent pre-season. I will show you guys just my favourite goal. I know it's just against FC Jazz, but there were some promising signs with our shadow striker off on the right here. So I think I need to just move it back about 10 seconds or so. So we can see us building up really nicely on the right here. We've got lots of bodies over. We've sucked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This player's coming over. So we're going to move 6 players over to this side where there's 5. So he comes over. We move back across. Lundberg drops deep. You just saw him just drift here. He's going to then shift across to find the space. Enquist makes the run. And here's Lundberg running into the box. There we go. That's the kind of stuff that I'm hoping we're going to see a lot of over the course of the season. So fingers crossed we're going to be good. But our first game is up. We're here against Afghanistan. So let's head on in and see how we do. As we do this, I'll try and catch up a little bit more on the chat there. So ACAP says, midlife crisis. You're lucky I'm stepping in my midlife crisis and sub to a driving school for my bike license. That is a good midlife crisis to have, let's be fair. So RJ's answered the question of the day, which is who's been the biggest disappointment this season? Whether that's a team or a player. For him, it's been Dendoncker, not able to get his level back in Jupiler Pro League. That is quite sad, really, isn't it? Just a little bit disappointing. You would have thought that he could have made that step, but yeah, it feels like his confidence has been completely and utterly wrecked. So FC Jazz, skippity boo bop indeed. Oh, okay, and it's just somebody popping a bit of junk mail through the letterbox. That's all right. So how are we guys doing? I can't speak for the rest of them. I can say for myself, I'm doing very well, very well. So Afghanistan is currently second place in real life. Interesting. They've been kind of hit or miss so far in the save. So I've picked the team before we came on. We're going to pop Dahlstrom out wide on the left to begin with. Possibly bring one of these guys on and move players back move him back centrally, move Skoglund down into that role. But yeah, we'll be giving debuts to Kometio, to Snore, to Stavitsky. So just the three debuts there. Martinen's going to be on the bench. Fortuna's on the bench as well. Slayman and Rockman, possible players that should get some game time. For now, don't panic. We can't do the numbers properly yet until like the league season comes around. So I'm just going to give everyone really high numbers until I can reset it and do it properly. So Hank reckons that the biggest disappointment for him is Ansu Fati. That's fair. That is fair. He's he's not really kicked on, which is a bit of a shame. So in the relegation league, I just checked out. Fair enough. Fair. I mean, still second is second, even if it is actually eighth. Right, let's do some pointing. We've normally been quite nice and we've gone with what they're going, but I'm going to say we want a win and I need a good performance from you guys. And we head in and we check the speed of things, because I did play the friendlies at a slightly higher pace. Yeah, that's got to come down maybe a notch. There we go. Straight away. I mean, I say straight away. We're 26 minutes into the stream, but this is probably the earliest we've got into a game to start off with. So Paddy is actually currently doing a homegrown save for Barcelona and trying to get Fati and Yamal firing and failing miserably. Fair enough. Crabbo says Stavitsky is my guy for this year. I've decided Stavitsky will be all of our guys. He's going to be the star, I'm sure. Here's a Kerake trying to get something. Here's the man. Stavitsky gets past his man, lays it down. Stavitsky with an assist on his debut. 11 minutes and 41 seconds in. Skoglund as the shadow striker, getting the goal as well. I mean, we got lucky. A Kerake's shot fell very nicely into the path of Stavitsky, who brought it down, beat his man, fed Skoglund, and that's 1-0. It is the Stavitskys. I need, can anyone do a particularly good Geordie accent? Because instead of a song for Stavitsky, we just need that soundbite, really, don't we? So Arja says, crazy to see the player who's probably not going to be around for long is still going strong at season 3 of Enquist. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, nothing about Daniel Enquist suggests that he should be part of the starting lineup. Now, we do have a lone player coming in who could push him down the order, but we'll see. We'll see. This is like lightning pace for me so far. It is. How good is your Geordie then, Crodmo? I'll pop round and we can get some sound bites. Got to sound exactly. Look at Dahlstrom trying to find over the top. Unfortunately, can't quite get it over there for Scotland. So Jonathan Edwards says Kolo Muani has also fallen off a cliff with his form. For one of the best strikers to not want it, that is very true. Very true indeed. But potentially a good rescue project for another team. Or another one of those strikers who's now going to start bouncing around the leagues, never quite being able to recapture. To think how it could have all been different had it not been for Emi Martinez. So Acav asks, can I recall Freddie Adu from retirement for the AMC position? That would be fun, wouldn't it? That would be cool. So Campione thinks that Zaelius or Rivaldo could still do a job. Probably. Certainly at the Finnish league level. Right, so this was Savalainen with a nice little cheeky flick. Not really necessary, but there we go. Now Stavitsky is in behind. Stavitsky with a shot from the angle. That's pushed behind by Koski. Koski is one of the goalkeepers who we looked at. He conceded something like 60 goals in 30 games last year. So I'm surprised to see him making a save. Really, that should be our tactical plan for this. Stavitsky, he's found space. Oh, that was a poor shot from Stavitsky, but he's still got it. He doesn't give up, that man. He sends the cross in. Enquist into the side netting. Everything is running through Timo Stavitsky. So you've sent me a WhatsApp. It's awful. Marvellous. Patrick Schickfan says that Chelsea want Kolo Muani, unsurprisingly. Now, Patrick Schickfan, I'm going to guess, considering that Ladislav Almasi fan and Tyreek George fan said that Patrick Schick is their favourite player who's not Ladislav Almasi, I'm guessing you're the same person over on YouTube. But Chelsea want every striker, right? And there we go. Stavitsky feeds Lundberg.
He's the man in the box. Lundberg.
Stavitsky registers his second assist. Arvid Lundberg there from just 4 yards out. And now we come into halftime at the most dangerous scoreline that has ever existed. So apparently Galatasaray is trying to loan Kolo Muani alongside Osimhen. That would be crazy. What is going on with Galatasaray? Chelsea wanting Kolo Muani, unsurprisingly. Like, Chelsea want every player. As long as they're under, 25, Chelsea will be there or thereabouts. So yeah, we've created loads of chances. Got to be happy with that. He's not tackling harder, is he? So that's okay. We can leave him to as he is, but may well be the first player to be subbed off, which would be crazy, subbing off our captain. But you know how apprehensive I am about players on yellow cards. So Nistan have made a change. They take the kickoff. Is this going to be a highlight, or is this just a kickoff thing? Ball out wide to Wendt. Wendt can't get there. Savalainen clears it into touch. Savalainen played with Freddie Adu. So they haven't had a single shot so far, which means this is going to result in a shot and quite possibly end up as a goal. So Lundberg gets it clear. Yanti pushes down the left, cuts back inside. Here's Peninkanga, shoots just over. All right, let's just tell people to focus a little. We're in control. We don't want to give them the momentum. Don't want to let them get back into the game. So that's good. 60 minutes in, Dahlstrom's going to come off, and we're going to bring on. Let's see a little bit of Diagne. Diagne seems to be able to play multiple positions, so we'll pop him in there, and we'll take off the booked Sebastian Dahlstrom. I can't get rid of him. It means I'll no longer use Alice in Chains. I don't want to get rid of Lundberg. I'm hoping that by keeping hold of him whilst he wants to leave, maybe he will change his mind about his contract. I don't think that's going to happen, but we can see. Didn't Totti say that he wanted to get back into playing, says Campiorinis. There's your answer then. Could you imagine the game allowing us to to get
the statistics. It's not the
the
statistics.
Stavitskis.
You tell me.
How
do you
can you measure someone that could balance a balloon
in a
wind tunnel on a needle? Look at that, guys. I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause right now. We haven't seen this for a long, long time. Our goalkeeper, it wasn't much of a save, but our goalkeeper just made a save. So yeah, like imagine if we could have got Totti. That would be something incredible. Stavitsky, who's on a 10.0 right now, can't quite find the net from distance there. Right, here's a corner kick for Penn and Kangas. They've certainly had a little bit more of the ball in the second half. Swings it into the far post. Hautala just over. Let's just try and kill things a little bit. We're going to drop the tempo. Stop pushing it forward quite so aggressively, hopefully. So Shorten Venny says, "Hey Muster, hope you're well and have had a nice festive period so far. Quick question, how do you deal with using your skin at the start of a brand new save due to the lack of any actual data? I play with the first transfer window turned off, Sean. Yeah, generally, I mean, you can still see attributes, just they're a little bit broader. You can still make informed decisions based on those attributes alone. If you're looking for key things, if you're looking for someone all round, generally, I haven't had too much of an issue in that regard. So what a song, says Dean Basis. You got to love a little bit of Alice in Chains. Dina gets it clear. So thankfully, Nistan haven't really created any really, really good chances. So Patrick Schickfan says, is Skriniar going to Galatasaray? That would be interesting. Galatasaray trying to sign everyone. Oh, Dina with a nice little reverse pass to Lundberg. And you're damn right, Lundberg. Throw your arms up in shame. Disappointing miss. Diania again. Diania out to Stavitsky. Stavitsky, can he get a third assist? He lunges it in. That's not going to be quite enough. Here's Stavitsky. Stavitsky! Shot blocked by Hautala. And that'll be a free kick to Nistan now. What we're going to do for the next changes. Enquist is looking a little bit tired. I've been quite impressed with Diania. I do want to see him a little bit deeper, though. Let's do that for 15 minutes or so. Lundberg's just got the 1 goal. So let's bring on Jimmy the Slayman. Here we go. You make me proud. Last 15 minutes or so, we should be good. Question to anyone who can answer. How can I change the scoreboard to look like this? Well, to look like that, you'd have to go into the skinning files. You could take the specific scoreboard files from the Mustermann skin. I can't remember the exact thing. Here's Slayman. Slayman's got to make this 3-0. Slayman, there we go. First goal of the season. It's a shocking error for Nistan. Slayman nips in, and then he can finish off with no pressure whatsoever. Hannanen all the way back. The keeper read it. The keeper knew it was there, and then just seemed to give up on it. Slayman nips in, and that was far too close to the corner of the net for an open goal for me to feel comfortable. I've got to be honest. Dang, I'm smelly, says RJ. Gonna take a shower. Fair enough. I can't possibly judge. Jonathan asks, so who is the player you always rated and eventually came good? Mine is Chris Wood while he was on. It's a save. That's another save by Snore. Come on, can we keep it? Tolly, it's the crossbar. Lots of pressure coming in from Nistan. So Jonathan's player that he's always rated and eventually came good was Chris Wood while he was still at Burnley. That's a fair shout. That's a good question. So chat, what do you think? Who is a player that you've always rated and eventually came good? I'm going to just concentrate now, making the next change, which is going to be, we're going to bring, Stavitsky's brilliant. Let's take Stavitsky off so that he definitely secures that 10. That 10 will be amazing, and that also means we can bring on Fortuna. We're allowed to make more substitutes because it's a cup. And so we're going to just rest Enquist, chuck Savalainen out onto the left there. So trust you guys to make a difference. So Hank wants to get a little bit of a sniff of RJ first. You smell of cows. Fair enough. Clement, by the way, welcome on in. Thank you very much for popping by. Going quite well. How are you? Lovely to have you in here. So, let's see. Lundberg will stay after we win the fucking lot this season. That's what I hope for. Slaymar! Slaymar's such a great name. Right, went out here. And there we go. What a good start to the cup. We absolutely dominated that game. Okay, we dominated that game for the first 60 minutes. A 3-0 win, very much deserved. We've kept a clean sheet. I think we can be pretty damn pleased with that for the first game of the season at the Wicklow Holding Arena. Oh, I love how unnecessarily long I've made that. That definitely goes on like a good 30 seconds too long. And by that, I mean it's about 31 seconds. And that's why I love it so much. Right, pretty good start. And we've got rid of Larson as well. This is starting off pretty damn well. A short good evening. Welcome in, Hervin. I hope you're doing well. So Ladislav Almasi says Haaland at Mulder. A good shout indeed there. Or Ola Aina. He certainly seems to be coming along quite nicely at Nottingham Forest now. Goodbye, Larson. So Demir says that Skriniar looks solid like a rock in the defence. Just needs a team to keep playing on a higher level too. That's a fair shout. So they were confused having Carl Walker and Carl Walker-Peters. There we go. Never got why Spurs been that. That's fair on the Carl Walker-Peters shout. It's crazy to think that Carl Walker, who's been at Man City for so long, has also at the same time played for so many different clubs as well. Been at Sheffield United, been at Tottenham, been at Villa. I think there's someone else who's sent out on loan, and he sucked at pretty much most of them. But there we go. A clean sheet in my America's Campeonatos. Clean sheet is crazy. You'd welcome him at Everton as better than any of our right backs. I mean, considering that one of them is Ashley Young, that's not that hard. Hank reckons you're going to have Ashley Young until he's 50 and you're going to like it. Indeed. That's what they deserve for signing him. So Knight of an E says, oh lordy indeed. Patrick Schick talking about Skriniar. He's a great defender, but always struggle when he gets pressed. That's all right in Turkey. There's only situational pressing. One last Adam Larson song, please. There we go. One last Adam Larson song, just to wish him goodbye. He really sucked for us. Bless him. In real life, he was what did we say is the third top goal scorer? But he managed just 4 goals in 46 games. Granted, a reasonable amount of them were off the bench. He started 23 of those 46 games. You'd certainly want a better return than that, bless him. But there we go. Where were we? He's also the slowest player I've ever seen, talking about Skriniar again, so needs a quick guy next to him. I mean, he's old. Like when we get older, that turning circle just kind of starts to wane a little bit. Right, we've got Vucenovic Person coming in on loan at £425 per week. I think is he just 6 months or is he a full season? I should remember details like this, right? I should definitely remember details like this. Here's on loan until it's a full season loan. A full season loan for him, which should be good. Gotta be pleased with that. Let's see. So, yeah, exactly what we saw before. He's somebody who's genuinely got some pace, which is great. His off the ball isn't brilliant, but otherwise, I think he should be a really good player at this level. A top value there of 1.4 million certainly does seem to suggest he'd be of a quality maybe a little bit higher than what we're used to. So fingers crossed. Bear me one moment. So his pace is 14 on FM. That's interesting. Skriniar, the slowest player you've ever seen. Have you seen Dwight McNeil? Dwight McNeil isn't that slow. Sure, he's not the fastest winger out there, but he's not that slow. Come on. Wow, he's good. I know. Crazy. Right, okay. So Crudmo has redeemed a round of missing 11. Let's go on over and do that. We've got 10 minutes or so to go until the ad comes, so we can get a round in. Probably then pop into an ad. I'll move the game forwards until our next game, which is away against HJK. And then we come straight into that there. So let's tell you about a little change to the rules. It's not really a change to the rules as such. It's more what I'm going to call the Crudmo cap, or the Holifab cap, or the Ladislav Almasi cap. which is that now the most points you can score is 5. So if you guess 6 people correct, you will only get 5 points. So stop it becoming really, really unbalanced in case somebody just happens to know really, really well. That's the most points you can score in any other of the mini games. So it kind of just levels it out a little bit in that regard. So now, if it happens that 2 people guess the same, and let's say Crudmo, let's blame Crudmo for this. Let's say he guesses 6 players and somebody also guessed a player almost immediately as well. That point will go to the other player as long as Crudmo has already hit his limit of 5. So let's see what we've got going on. I thought we would just to maybe challenge you guys a little bit further as well as do something a little bit more modern. So by modern, I'm hoping you guys were paying attention barely, not even a month ago. Get your fingers ready because it's the MLS Cup final. LA Galaxy versus New York Red Bulls. How many players can we name from the LA Galaxy lineup? By the way, welcome in, Maestro. I'm doing very well. Lovely to see you in. I hope you're doing well. So we've already got guesses immediately for Ricky Puig, but Ricky Puig was not in the lineup, nor was Royce. There was, however, Fabi is correct. There was a Joveljic. He scored twice in that game. And there was Holly Fab is right. There's a McCarthy there. Welcome in as well, by the way, FM Console. I do apologize. I did see that you popped in a little bit ago. Lovely to see you here, my dude. Right, so I'm definitely quite a bit behind on the chat. But so whilst you guys are guessing, I should be able to catch up on that. So yes, Holly Fab, I'm afraid you did get nerfed. Jonathan Edwards says that Skriniar isn't slower than Mertesacker. Skriniar is only 29. Jesus Christ. My word. That is absolutely crazy. So we've got a couple of guesses coming in. So we've got Peck, we've got Pansel. So we've managed to find the strikers. Somebody's picked up on Maya Yoshida, which is a fabulous guess there. We've got the goalkeeper in McCarthy. Garthez has been picked up. Garthez, fabulous. Who was that who got through with Garthez? That's going to be Holly Fab. Beautiful. We have some that don't follow American football in here, so they're either making up players like Johnny Schwartzberger, or they're going for players that they know have played many moons ago. So unfortunately, there was no Zlatan, there was no Beckham, there's no Greg Berhalter. He's too busy getting in arguments with the players. So Necrosis is right. He's picked up on a Brugman. We've got a Cirillo. We've got a Delgado as well. So it's just 2 players left. Fair play to you guys. Fair play indeed. Parente was a fabulous guess. Unfortunately not. DeVio's been guessed as well. I haven't seen a DeMarco guess yet. So was it NASCAR McMerica? McMerica is a great name. I would love McMerica to be a guest. So indeed, we've got Nelson at left back and we've got Yaman at right back as well. Fabulous work there. Welcome in, by the way, Football Manager over on YouTube from Italy. Ciao. Lovely to see you here. That was some marvellous work. And FM Console coming in late with a little bit of Ian Selly. Oh, we'd love it to have been a little bit of Ian Selly. Your name at right back, indeed. Your mam at right back. Your man. Right, you're going for your man. I was going for your mam. Thiago Almada was a reasonable guess, and unfortunately, it's not. We've got them all now. We have got them all now. So that's some fabulous work going on there. Let's see. So, Hervin, you're off for now. Have a nice evening. Have a lovely stream. Thank you very much, my dude. Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. So, Nick, what are we doing with? Shall we do? Let's do the guess the player then. So we still do have a little bit of time, and then we won't have any games immediately after the break. That should work quite nicely. So we have a guess the player. Let's head on over and let me explain the rules to anyone who's new in, hasn't seen these before. So here you're going to see 4 snapshots of a player's profile from FM24, one picture after the other. You're going to see like the positions they play, their attributes, their scout report, like the clubs they play for. Your job is to guess the player as quickly as possible. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. So you got points for that last game as well. For every correct guess, you got a point. and those points end up on that lovely little leaderboard that's always underneath my face. So nice and simple. You will see that. Just guess away. Let's head on to the first one. We've got something quite rare. We've got a right winger who's right-footed. Who would have thought it? Right, necrosis is right before supper. Okay, so you're here for the game and then off to supper. Perfect thinking there. Johnny Trotter says 0 points for Crudmo. The nerf worked. Exactly. Although far too many points for Hollyfab though. We've still got to nerf it a little bit more. So guess is coming in with Robert Mack, a do. The player is Harry Maguire, goes Hungerman. Is it Gnonto? Is it Somerville? Is it Jadon Sancho? Is it Reece Nelson or Leon Bailey or Serge Gnabry or Ferran Torres or McManaman or Savio or Martinelli? Unfortunately, it's none of those things. It's none of those people. It's not Doku, it's not Anthony, it's not Kvaradonna. Let's head on in and see if that helps in any way at all. I'm not sure it necessarily does. This is a dribbly boy. I do like a dribbly boy. Fantastic technique. Great flair. It's 5'8" tall. So there we go. So why do I hear necrosis when Mustermann says necrosis? Well, I must confess, I assume that necrosis's name is specifically a play on words on necrosis, right? Surely? Or is that just a fine coincidence? It could be. Hollyfab, you said now you can eat. Okay, I'll take care, my dude. This player has got quite bad off the ball. You are right indeed, Demir. So other guesses that come in has been Sule. I can tell you now, Hungdaman, it will never be Greenwood. Never be Greenwood. Mahrez, Marcus Edwards. Don't call him Shirley. No, Croesus is a dragon priest from Skyrim, lol. Oh, I do apologise. I will make sure to more clearly enunciate the difference between Nick and Croesus in the Faria then. I just thought you went for something. I was like, fine, whatever floats your boat, my dude. So El Norby's guessed Diallo. Hank has gone for Zaha. We've got Giovanni Quent guessed. We've got Garnacho, Pulisic, Elanga, Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Oh, Diaby, Caltech, Anthony, Perisic. You're all wrong so far. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on. We now know that they are a La Liga player. Oh, wait a second. The Silent Assassin has guessed. He's come in and gone for Bakayoko. And he's wrong. The Silent Assassin is wrong. I'm sorry to pick on you, Adam. I'm sorry. But it is a nice change. So it's not Noah Lang. It's not Yasser Asprilla. It's not Alejandro Garnacho. And unfortunately, Ladislav Almasi is having an incredible run of games of late because he's gone for Yeremy Pino. And it is Yeremy Pino, the Villarreal player. Fabulous work. Two great points to you. And there, Tank came in a little bit late behind as well, as did Campiorinis. So close indeed. So close. But yeah, like incredible guess there. A quality player as well. He takes a couple of years to develop, I have to say, but amazing player. So there were some other good guesses in there. Nico Williams, Abdi, Williams again, Luca Bacchio was mentioned. Demir was right, yeah, damn, Pino has bad off the ball. He's not quite the finished article yet. You wanted to say Chiesa, but you saw La Liga. Indeed, I think that was the last bit. We'd gone through most of the La Liga wingers by that point. We kind of got to the last few ones to go for. So you're just about to say that, best winger in the world. Yeremy Pino, genuinely quality player. Like, granted, I last managed him in FM23, using him as a false nine for Spain. Oh, absolutely incredible player. Definitely one of my favourites to have. So whilst, right, we're going to now try and zoom forwards to the next game against HJK. We're going to be heading into a break in like literally about a minute or so. So when we come out of that, we'll go straight into our second game away against perennial title challengers, HJK. A good chance to see whether we're onto something good. Hopefully we'll start to get a little bit more of a picture around some of those players as well. These guys who've been shortlisted are also players we're keeping an eye on. Not Hampus Skoglund anymore. He's got a great name. Hampus Skoglund is amazing. But we're still looking for that attacking midfieldery type, so we've got a few being scouted as well. As you can see, our initial scout budget of 15,000, we've scouted about like 10 players or something, and that's already down to 6,000. So basically our year's scouting has almost been done entirely on this transfer window, and only 1 week at a time. It's quite obscene. So Hate Pino rejected me on FM and went to play for Arsenal instead. It's just how things unfortunately fall sometimes. It's, you know, just save it for another save, set the world to rights. Right, here we go. I will see you guys in about 3 or 4 minutes. And we're back. Marvellous stuff. So Johnny Trotter asks, lazy scouts or super efficient? I definitely won't call them efficient. I mean, it's so expensive, right? So if I go and just pick out a random player here that we haven't scouted before, not one who's unattached. Let's go for Michael Mork. We go and ask them to scout. Costs £900 to scout for 1 week in Sweden. In Finland, I think that's 600 pounds per week for 1 week, which is absolutely crazy. So they're not lazy by choice. I'm refusing to give them work, which is awfully unfair of me, I know, but there you go. Probably quite a nice job to have as well. Imagine you're the chief scout. So we have just a chief scout, Peter Sherland. He's basically doing opposition reports. He's earning only £180 per week. That is really not much money at all, is it? What, 200 times 5? That's like 10 grand a year. Yeah, maybe he deserves a not to have to do much. In fairness, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel with that, because that feels like it would be, if we gave him like full week's work each week, that's got to be like under minimum wage. Is he Daniel Sherland's brother? It is nepotism. It's disgraceful, isn't it? I think we stick with the same lineup. We see how it gets on against HJK. We have brought a person onto the bench. Again, we'll just give them an arbitrary high number until we can set them properly. £180 per week doing nothing. I take it. Yeah, like doing nothing. Perfect. If we actually make him work though, that's a little bit unfair. Come on the ham, says Crodmo. Come on the ham indeed. Sir Musterman Radcliffe. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll pay him only £180 per week, and then I'm going to take away all the charity donations that the club makes. Right, so they responded to the fans. Let's go for this one though. Our chance to do revenge. Billy Komet is keen to perform revenge. That's understandable, as is Oscar Snore. Kereke, Stavitsky, Lundberg aren't moved. Let's tell them that I have a little bit of faith, and let's see how this gets on against a good team. So we only started this tactical setup in the relegation group, so we haven't really faced against good teams with this setup. So it's going to be interesting to see how we handle this away from home. I mean, it started badly. From kickoff, we gave the ball away immediately. But here's Stavitsky. Can he beat his man? No, he can't. So he goes back to Savalainen. Savalainen just waits a little bit, plays it to Reitinen. Komechi has dropped very, very deep. Not sure why he's done that. Into a Kereke. This feels like it's prime for a turnover. Or is it? Here's in Kereke. Into Lundberg. Lundberg with the turn. Finds Enquist. Enquist has acres of space, but he can't get the burners on. A Kereke across Zhu. He plays it in. Stavitsky. Shot is weak and low. Is that Quentin Bratt? That's an amazing player for this level. That's an incredible signing. Quentin Bratt is he's at least like League 2 level. That's astonishing. Dick IEs, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. If you feel comfortable, let us know who you support or what team you're playing with on FM. Love to hear from you. But absolutely zero obligations to do so. Only if you feel comfortable doing so. Savalainen heads it away. HJK recovers. Simajoki plays a long ball forwards. Deedson takes it down. Deedson against the angle there. Snore can't save it. Deedson makes it 1-0 to HJK. It's a goal on his debut. It was a nice ball over the top. Reitinen is being blamed for missing his header. Let's have a look there. Reitinen didn't really know where the ball was at all. There's a great run from Deedson coming across and behind, and beautifully finished against the angle. Welcome in, HO2. Thank you very much for the follow. Same question to you. Let us know who you support or who you're playing with in FM. Love to hear from you, but no obligation whatsoever to do so. Jay Teller is in. Welcome in, Jay Teller. How are you doing, sire? Have you done the deed, son? Dirty deed, son. Done dirt cheap. It did feel dirt cheap. Now here's Lingman. That's a great tackle from Engqvist. Get up, man. Disgraceful. Plays it out to Stavitsky. Stavitsky's taken a knock. You can see it through until half-time, though. Skoglund's going to push it down the wing. Has he got the legs? He can beat his man. Now swing it in. Dahlstrom's at the far post, and that header is high. And we are going to push the speed up a little bit. Timo's injured. Timo is injured, but he'll be fine. It's just an orange injury. We'll see him through to half-time. He's going to be okay. Right. I mean, normally I'd complain about one shot, one goal, but they have had a couple of moments in our half as well. So let's just say I want to see a bit better than that, though. Stavitsky off. On comes Fortuna. What a name. What a name. I'm going to suggest that we just push the tempo up a little. Let's play with a little bit more urgency. See how we get on with that. If not, we'll drop down to... Now, that one touch higher now feels a little bit too quick. We need somewhere in between. ACL 8 months out. If that's the case, I'm crying. Yes, the Fortuna. Let it rip, Fortuna. Exactly. Fortuna. What a name. What a name, my man. So we'll probably end up bringing on Person for his debut. We need someone who can attack, so it'll be Enquist that will probably come off. Lundberg with a header, and that's another header gone over. That should have been a goal, the commentary reckons. Scotland wins the header back to Lundberg. Dahlstrom plays it back to Ekenas. He's going to find Kamecho. Here's Dahlstrom, plays it to Enquist. Enquist, can he create space? He can't, so he goes back inside. Juhi with a shot from distance. Yeah, that's now just a little bit too fast for me. Oh Fortuna to the sound of Oh Fortuna. That's an idea. I'm sure he'll come up trumps. Maybe he will. Right, so we now need to chase this a little bit. So Enquist is coming off. Person is coming on. That's a little bit more pace and potentially quality. Lundberg's missed a couple of chances, so we're going to shift these guys round. We're going to bring on Brockman and Slayman. If Dahlstrom comes back into that role, Skoglund goes on to the left there. Slayman is a deep lying forward rather than a target forward. He's only 5'11". Do we push him up a level? Yeah, we push this guy up. Skoglund is now going to play as an advanced playmaker, kind of similar. We do need to make sure we're asking him to do the same marking responsibility. He does need to come back. Does need to sit narrower so that he creates the space for Person. He becomes a wing back now. So we're going to really push forwards down that left-hand side. Trust you guys to make the difference. A triple change. Maybe a little bit over the top. Person is the ideal person for this situation. He is indeed, potentially. A shot charged down by Sarpe. Can we create something into the last 15 minutes here? Ekenas dwindles on the ball and he's been robbed by Keskinen. Topi Keskinen has been a really good player both of the seasons so far. Plays it back, his Helm. Yiltova has space, feeds Keskinen into Mera Luoto. And that's 2-0. That's 2-0. That's a shame. That is a shame. And that's down that left-hand side. You can see Kamecho's being drawn all the way out there. Skoglund here, whereas Person is playing essentially as the centre-back at that point. And with our centre-back out wide, Whiten couldn't quite shift over to cover the man. We touched the slider of doom. Rest in peace. Incoming Slaymarcito Galazzo. We can hope so. A consolation goal would be nice. Rockman hits the post. The keeper wasn't even aware. Oh, Danny Rockman. Unlucky there. We can feel reasonably aggrieved. They've created two very good chances though. 0.8 xG from three shots is brilliant stuff. Our chances haven't been bad, but we don't take our chances. This is what happens. So Person's going to take the corner. He sends it into the far post. Kamecho hits the bar. That's the second time we've hit the woodwork. Can we send it in again? Right in all the way to Savalainen. Finds Person. Is he onside? Person's onside. He goes to curl it. And Quentin Bratt with the save. It's not to be our day today. It's not to be. It says that we've only hit the woodwork once, but we've seen it hit twice. The snore was having his nap. Leave him alone. He was indeed. Too busy twiddling with his moustache. The laser eyes keeper. Quentin Bratt, sad, isn't it? Bratt, there we go, beautiful. Slayman isn't going to win a header. He's only 5'11" or something. That's a shame. I think, though, we play quite well. Now, you don't get any points for playing well, and we normally do quite well in the Liigacup, but that's not the worst thing, the worst performance I've seen. So yeah, if we play like that, we'll keep up. Tough, deal with it, guys. I'm going to be positive. If you want to throw a strop because I'm being positive, that's entirely your prerogative. You miserable bastards. So Savitsky is out for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, that's a bugger. So training, rest for a day. We give Fortuna a rest as well. So he's immediately going to go into the starting lineup there. That means that on the bench will be Foncel. So we haven't been able to find a buyer for Foncel yet. We have asked What's those lovely people? Intermediaries to do something. And they haven't done anything yet. So it looks like we might have him for another year. And that'll be until his contract runs out, essentially. We have an update on the third there. So we don't have a great amount of knowledge on these guys. He might be, like, reasonable doesn't mean we've got the full reveal on the attributes there, unfortunately. So Adam says the joy of a new keyboard and monitor mount turning up today has now been replaced by the laziness of not wanting to set them up this evening. That is perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair. The goalkeeper has a 1.14 XG underperformance. He does indeed. He does indeed on that game. I don't particularly feel like the first goal, kind of perfectly fine. The second goal maybe could have got there, but we see regularly that it doesn't really matter who your keeper is. They're not very good at claiming those low crosses and commanding that part of the box. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him yet. It's not going to be the Stavitskis. It's not. So ACAP says, so I'm out with you all a good evening. If we don't chat tomorrow, I wish you a happy, healthy, and joyful new year. It's been lovely having you in, ACAP. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year, my dude. So yeah, we've got 3 very little scout reports. We've just got minimal on Severi Karkinen. These are players that we think we might be able to get in on loan. Severi Karkinen's played in the first division. He scored 5 goals, set up another 5. The season before, 3 and 5. He's kind of been pretty solid. Then we've got Yoel Mbai. Yoel Mbai scored 5 and 3, a much higher standard of league, the Super Etten. And the season before, 4 and 7. I think I quite like the look of Mbai. He's asking to leave, so I don't know if we'd have to agree a fee to get him in on loan. And then there's Enzo Andren, who we've just seen here. We know that he likes to move it to his right foot, so he's one-footed. He's played also in the Super Etten. 3 goals in 11 games isn't too bad. Like, only 5 starts. So I'm going to put this to... So is the Swedish second division higher than the Finnish first league? I would say so in terms of quality, yes. I'm very sorry to the Finns in the chat. I know that would be harsh to say, but the Finnish top division isn't particularly highly rated. So I know you've only got very limited information there. We don't have performance. I'm gonna pop this out to poll. I'm gonna show the players again. Severi Karkinen might have really good vision, pace, and dribbling. Probably doesn't. We don't know enough to know his scout, his playing style. Yoel Mbai, we don't have enough information to know about his playing style. Might be quite quick, might have good fitness. Both of them had around 10 goals and assists combined the last couple of seasons, each season that is. And then Enzo Andren, we know a little bit more. He's probably, again, not quite this good, but we do know his traits. So not much information to go on. We're going to try and bring one of them in on loan. I want you guys to tell me who we should go for. Who should we sign on loan? And I can feel Adam already feeling the trauma over the Shambos situation. So I mean, it's only temporary alone, isn't it? So at least there can't be the disappointment at the end of it when we know they're not going to stick around potentially. So I'll pop this to you guys, just running it for 2 minutes. If you want me to look at a specific profile, just let me know. So Karkin, he's most versatile in terms of positions, could be useful. That's very true. So we are specifically looking for a shadow striker. That's going to be Skoglund. Skoglund is a player I'd love to move out on as a wide playmaker permanently, and then Dahlstrom can play there. But yeah, so having someone who can also potentially play as a striker, so we have maybe a bit more of a in-behind threat as well, and we could potentially put more creative player behind as well. So yeah. So we've got 3 votes for Karkinen so far, 2 for Mbai, just the 1 for Andren. It's 3-all. It's 3-all now between Karkinen and Mbai. Does anyone want to see any of the profiles again? The very, very limited information we have on the profiles. So sitting there on a tie. Is someone going to wait until right the last minute just to put in a buzzer beater? Or are there going to be some pushes? I mean, we have Karkinen's come back ahead 4-3 up now. 50% of the votes have gone to Karkinen. I think that means Brexit or something. Yep, show them again. So Karkinen, this isn't their full attributes revealed. So he might be good at dribbling, might have good vision, might have good pace. And by might have good acceleration, might have good pace, might have good fitness. We do know for certain he's got poor decisions and poor long shots. Not the strongest. You don't need to be strong for that role. We do know for certain with Kakinen, he has poor decisions. Oh boy, my eyes are watering. My eyes are watering a lot. Hello. Oh, I didn't manage to mute in time for that bit though. Oh. So we have some results. Jonathan Edwards wants us to check Tati Hukunen. Jonathan Edwards, we're facing with these guys here. These are the ones that have been identified by our scouts or by our director of football. So we might check him at another point, but I'm very happy with the options we've got here. I suppose if I wasn't happy, I wouldn't have put it out to vote. I would have just made the decision there. It is nasty Flem. Oh, those bloody Flemish. Where is RJ? Oh, he's a smelly Flemish, in fact. So Adam didn't get to vote in time, but he'd go Karkinen as well, and Karkinen did win. Karkinen came through with half of the votes, 5-4 against him by. Andren just picked up 1. So let's see what they want for him. Oh, now they don't want to let him. He was suggested as a loan player. That was all a little bit pointless. Let's see. So his top value is only 35k. He's on a reasonably low wage. Let's see what the deal would be here. Wants a very low wage, £230 to £300 per week. Between 0 and 30,000. We've got the money. Is he good enough for us to break our transfer record? Our transfer record, as far as the game is concerned, is £0. You guys have voted, though. You guys have voted. So let's see. Can we get him in on a trial? What will they say if we ask to get him in on a trial? I've never asked to trial a player that's at another club. Obviously, we get asked for trials every now and then. With players. So let's see what the deal is there. Will they accept it? Do they ever accept it? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. They've said no to that. They've said no to allowing a player they consider to be their star player to come in on trial. So there we go. You guys have voted. So let's see if we can bring him in for a fee. That fee, let's start at... Oh, it's such a long thing to do. Let's start at 5. They say 13.5 plus 20% profit. Let's say 10% on the profit. But we only give you 9.5. That'll do. There we go. So 9.5k. So where's the Fortuna with the burp? Indeed. We should have done. If only we could have done that at the same time. So Ladislav wants us to make a super team. But if we want to make a super team, we've got to be smart with our money, surely. So Jake asks, how would you do a Moneyball save in the lower leagues in England? I've not seen many people do them, so wanted to know if it would be harder than a team in the Championship. Well, it's always going to be harder the lower you go because of the resources that you have available to you. The bigger the club you are, the more players you know. So the more players you know, the more players you can look at and have information to compare against. But yeah, there's nothing really to stop you from being able to do it in the lower leagues. The only thing I'd be mindful of is if you're using a custom database, that, you know, the game doesn't necessarily handle those really, really lower leagues very well. And considering your resources and what you've got available to you, you're probably going to be still relying on that whole trial farm and bringing players in on frees anyway. And players that don't play don't have any data. So yeah, there will be restrictions for sure. But in terms of players at a lower level, it can certainly work. Oh, the pressure, says Quadmate. Right, work is done. Off to cook home hot dogs. Nice. Have a good rest of the stream. Catch you all later. Take it all. Take it all. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy your dinner, Adam. Smell you later, indeed. So what's the deal with Kakinen? Wants to be a squad player. Wants to play in the role that we want to play him in. So I'm happy to do that. And let's see if we can get away with the minimum. Do the minimum. We'll ask for 3 years as well. Right, just above the minimum. Just above the minimum is cool. That's all right. I mean, 9k is big money, big money. But yeah, I'm quite happy to run with that. And then if it turns out that he's a little bit pap, we've got those trialies in as well that we could potentially look at. Ilves with the win over KTP. We should move on. Our next game is away against TPS. Was TPS the one that struggled last season? Stages last season. TPS weren't. It was VPS. VPS got relegated. So TPS are a decent team. Should probably be a team that we expect to be around the same level of us as us. So again, this should be a good learning opportunity. I think we did okay against HJK. But let's see if that was an anomaly or that's par for the course. And we've got to expect that this system is going to see us concede high quality chances. I do need to also see, like we saw with that second goal, that Kumecho was miles out of position. Person was in a really weird spot. So we do want to keep an eye on where those players end up, especially. So I'll probably have a watch on there. So we'll say, yep, welcome you in. Severi Karkinen, an inside forward. So he can't pass, which is a bit of a shame. But he can dribble and he can finish. He's got decent acceleration and pace. He's also got arrives late in opposite opponent's area. We didn't see that before. That's not too bad. Oh shit. I forgot to tell you guys some stuff. So Musterman splashes the cash. We do indeed. £9,500. Jonathan Edwards asked who was the top scorer in the division last season. I honestly can't remember. The season before, it was Heitinen, who's a man with a lovely mullet and moustache. So where is Artu? So Artu Heitinen was the top scorer 2 seasons ago. I can't remember who was the top scorer last season. So let's have a look. Modern day players. Is Darren Smith, the New Zealander. Australian? South African? I thought he was one of the New Zealanders. It's not. So Darren Smith, a 29-year-old. Might be quite quick. He scored 15 goals in 26 games. Yeah. Okay. Conseil Sao has been confirmed as the AC Milan manager. There we go. You were hoping you'd end up at Everton. Do you want, like, Conseil Sao? Neither Conseil Sao or Fonseca have managed to really stay in a job for particularly long. They seem, I don't know. I don't like it. So I was going to tell you there has been some other developments as well. And one of those developments is I've taken over training. I decided that realistically, I imagine that at the end of the season, after a disappointing season, that the board were probably expecting me to do, want to know how I was going to improve on last season. So my position is that I'm going to be taking a much more hands-on role. And what that means is we're going to be doing our training from here on in. So we've set up everyone to essentially, depending on the unit that they're in, they're either doing defensive positioning or they're on passing, with the exception of players who are under 18. They're just going to be focusing on quickness. So Jimmy Slayman, he needs to learn to become quicker, as does Igor Lofgren and Holmgren. So our three new gens are now on quickness training, and our schedule is basically kind of just going a little bit over the top in terms of focusing on the attributes that we value for the system, or I think that we will be valuing for the system. So ground defense and aerial defense both allows focus on individual roles for the secondary group. So that's going to mean that they're going to learn their role and they're going to be working on quickness or passing for the attacking group. And you've got the exact same. You've got the exact same thing here with chance creation and chance conversion. The secondary unit focuses on their individual roles. Whilst chance creation focuses on off the ball, passing, technique and crossing. So that's going to be our main focus. We do that twice a week. Chance conversion has finishing and heading. So we do that once a week. And the same kind of thing we've got here with the defensive situation here. Ground defense focuses on tackling. Aerial defense focuses on heading. So we've kind of got a 66-33% split on focusing on the ground against the aerial stuff. That's kind of the thinking behind it. So we're going to literally just keep on hammering them with this every single week. We're not going to have really well-rounded players. We're going to have players that specialise in the things that I think we need to do. That's the idea, at least. So, yep, AC Milan have fired from Fonseca. Damn, indeed. Nila, welcome in. Lovely to see you there. Rich is in as well. I'm doing well. How are you, sir? Lovely to see that. But Zealand said training is broken. Indeed. It's almost. I hate that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to be doing rebuttals and things like that and stuff outside of the area that I kind of focus on. But I really should do a video on understanding intensity in training and how that actually impacts stuff. So Fortuna has put in very good performances in the month he's been here. Edlund is unhappy with training. That's absolutely fine. Oh, I do need to remember. Let's make sure that all these fringe players are playing for the reserves. It's a squad, available for reserve squad all the time. Basically, everyone who's unlikely to play many minutes. So it's those guys there, training a squad, available for reserves. Make sure that we can try and keep them at least close to fit. Let's see what the deal is with Alexanderson. Alexanderson is looking like a player, depending on what his wages are, injury prone, but starting to look quite well rounded there. Actually, yeah, he's at extensive knowledge now. So we might bring him in as well. And then the other one is Diana. Diana looks quite well rounded too. Reports he's at extensive knowledge. Be a leading player. So after the next match, we'll see how that is. We're going to pop to the Only Connect that out Fabi redeemed a moment ago as well. So Jonathan Edwards says, impressed with how many fellow South Africans there are in Europe. There's a lot. There is a lot, to be fair. Rich says, I've sometimes done similar with training in the past as well. Often focus on an identity and train those specific things. I think, yeah, like that's certainly my preferred lazy approach, where you can set it up essentially and just go through every single week and just set it all to the same one. Definitely a good way to do things. I used to pretending to do tactical periodization, making sure that we had things that was the response was there to what happened in the last game, prepare for the next game. But on stream, I certainly don't have the attention to be able to remember to do it, considering I can barely keep up with chat. So we found the only way to train your players 100% success. Everyone loves a little bit of sensationalism. One secret trick. Click here to find out more. You won't believe what this player looks like now. You won't believe tip number 7, indeed. So there's Machado's sales gone through. Ajala's sales gone through. They're unhappy that he's left, but that's fine. That's some pretty decent money. So our wage budget now is down under 15k, which is marvellous. Yes, I'm going to move the wage budget there. Technically, we have almost £900,000 that we could spend on a player if we so wished. Yep, this one tip will change the way you play FM. Exactly. Yay, Machado out. He had some clangers. I'm so glad to see him go. Right, let's head into that round of Only Connect. Thank you very much for redeeming that out, Fabi. And let's explain the rules to those of you who may not have been here when we've played this game before. So the way this game works is you're going to see 4 pictures of players. They could be current players, they could be players from a bygone era, but they're all going to have been people that have played football to a professional level at some point. Your job is to work out the connection. You're going to see one after the other, and so like the first player you see, you might not be able to work it out. The second player, you're going to start getting an idea. The third and the fourth, eventually it becomes obvious. Now, the pictures aren't going to have the players' names on them, so shout them out in chat when you know who it is, and then you can kind of work together to find out what that connection might be. The earlier you guess, though, the more points you get. So those points put you on that lovely little leaderboard. So let's head on in and see what the very first clue is. Does anyone know who this gentleman is? This one tip will change the way you play. Use Mustermann skin. That's very, very nice. It should be, though. This one tip will frustrate the hell out of you. Nope, it's playing with triple liberos on support. That's the plan. That's the plan. So, someone said, is it Højbjerg? It isn't Højbjerg. RJ has said it's a Bayern dude. I read that as a Bayesian dude, and I was like, I don't think he looks like he's from the Bahamas, but sure. It is indeed Claudio Pizarro. Johnny Trotter, very clever there. Pizarro. It is Claudio Pizarro. So DM Base has gone that they all played into their 40s. How old was Pizarro then when he retired? Did he play into his 40s? It's a fine guess. It's not that, but yeah, fine guess. So we've got Pineapple on Pizarro as well. He's still playing, isn't he? Is he still playing? Don't be daft. So you think he was 41? Costa said someone said pizza. The best part of the day is the best days are pizza days. I'll be honest, I'm probably ordering pizza as soon as this stream ends. Like this. I haven't had takeaway for a while. I'm gonna have to break that at some point. So we have no guesses beyond that they all played into their 40s. So let's move on to the next clue. Jonathan Edwards has said that they've played for Bremen, which is a fine guess indeed. So Costa's going for a double pepperoni. Good choice. Hollyfab said players bought by Bayern from clubs in the same league. A fair guess. Unfortunately, the next clue has kind of ruined that one for you. So have they got similar names to comic book villains? I'm guessing there's a comic book villain called Bizarro. I'm not very good with my comic book knowledge, I'm afraid. I'm guessing Bizarro, or is it something else potentially? So we've got Bingo, retired in 2020, born October 78. There we go. So Quadmo has correctly identified that this is Tedward Sheringham, the Sheringham of Nottingham, if indeed. He's the oldest scorer in Bundesliga history too. Is he now, DMB? So Maeve has asked, do I plan to do a Roma Moneyball or career on FM? Sorry for the off-topic. So Roma are a team currently out for vote for the next full Moneyball episode. And depending on how that vote goes, and that vote is for Patreons only. So my Continental Pro get input on my content there. So tell us why we should do Roma, and that might convince those Patreons to change their vote. So Tank goes for last names have food. That is a fine guess. That is a fine guess indeed. And FMG&G says oldest goal scorers in the league. So you're going for their respective league, I'm guessing. Quadmo says fun fact, Brian Clough refused to call him Teddy Sheringham and always called him Eddie. Fair enough. Today is not Friday in the abstract quiz. I could throw an abstract quiz in. I mean, this is the last stream of the year. The last stream of the year for me. Maybe we've got abstract. Or maybe we haven't, and FMG&G has got it right, because next was going to be Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and after that was going to be Jesus Navas, which means, indeed, they are the oldest goal scorers in their respective leagues. I did know that DM Base is unfortunate that Pizarro did play into his 40s and was the oldest goal scorer, 40 years and 225 days. Teddy Sheringham was a little older, 40 years, 258 days. Zlatan, older yet, 41 years, 166 days. Jesus Navas was the youngest of the lot, but obviously scored the most recently, and that's 38 years, 294 days. Such a spring chicken, those 38-year-olds. So I feel like I should get half a point, says DM Base. You were certainly close. But I'm sure there's like some catchphrase from a game show where like close isn't right, or close but no cigar, or no lighty, no likey, or some nonsense like that. Thank you for the hydrate, Maeve. So there were some other good guesses in there. There was played in England and Germany. There was never played in a World Cup. All fabulous players who came out of retirement to play football again. All fabulous guesses. But FMGNG with the points there. Fabulous, fabulous work. 3 points there. So you're surprised that Joaquin doesn't have the La Liga record. Well, it's only just been broken, hasn't it? It was last season by Jesus Navas. But yeah, like you would have thought, because Joaquin kept on playing until quite a bit into his later years. My hero, Roy Walker. It's close, but it's not the one. Indeed, it's close, but it's not the one. Catchphrase, absolutely. Good memory there. I hate to say this, but the oldest La Liga goal scorer is Donato. And Joaquin was older than Navas too. Not according to Transfer Market. Let's have a look here. No, I won't have a look here because I've got games to play. Points at link. Interesting. That's an entirely different list to the one that I looked at earlier. Well, doesn't matter anyway. The connection was got before we got to Jesus Navas anyway. There. Here again to bully Patrons into voting for Sporting. It's given us great players over the last decades like Figo, Quaresma, Cristiano Ronaldo. Go deserve the attention of a deeper Moneyball dive. So I did see someone did say Costas suggested Roma because their kit looks great. That's a fine reason as well. So the only solution is minus 10 points to Crudmo. I think so. Joaquin was older. I win, says Hank. Stripped off. You've not been stripped of your points, FMGNG. You got it before it even got that far, so it's all good. Crudmo's salty at being nerfed. He loves to be pedantic. That's why I love having him in here. There to correct the little missteps. Right, so with the team here, we've got Karkinen's going to come in, and he's going to be... So Karkinen's obviously not match fit, which is understandable. He's going to get some game time, though. Rockman will probably be there to back up Fortuna now that not the Stavitskis is out injured. I'm happy for us to go with the same team, see how we get on. Another random number for the time being, up to number 43. So Crodmo equals pedantry corner, the best type of corner, let's be fair. Hoisted by his own pedant. Indeed, that should be the same. Oh no, I've gone with what the assistant manager said. I've fallen back into old tropes with just pressing the same things I always do. Oops. So this error on Mustermann's part cast into doubt all past games he's conceived so far. Quite possibly. But what are you going to do about it, Lukmar? What are you going to do about it? Let's have a revolt. We need a revolt. I thought Puskas was older than Donato, but I was wrong too. Fair enough. Hank has to give a radiology presentation in 25 minutes. Tell me how to get out of it.
It's not the statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh my. Bless you very much, Lukmar. That is gift subscriptions to Zizinho 10, Malteser Falcon, Koza Bob, Joe Mac, J Mac 4105, DC 10, and Valorant has give one to Quarter the Villain. You absolute gentleman. So yeah, there we go. Whilst that happened, we conceded to TPS. It wasn't really paying attention because I was trying to read things. So here we go. Bostrom sends it back to Gabay. Gabay plays it to Pitakala. His shot. It's a lovely strike. Snore can't quite get there. You do feel like he should have got his hand to it. So that is another goal conceded from the first shot. Here's a free kick sent in. Ikenan gets it clear. Lundberg keeps the pressure on. Dahlstrom's going to send the cross to the right place. Not quite. Kerake gathers. Kerake, that's a loose pass from Kerake, and here comes TPS again. No, Savalainen steps in. Kimecho's just slowing things down now. Just keep it sensible. Savalainen can push forwards, finds Fortuna out wide. Fortuna pushes it past Wendon Thomas, sends the cross in. Dahlstrom heads it over. We love to head the ball high and wide. It's definitely not the statistics because he's got them wrong. That's fair. Jonathan Edwards asks, do I watch any other FM YouTubers? No, I hate them all. Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, time can be a little bit difficult when you're a creator yourself. So there are quite a few, and if you stick around in the break, you'll see certainly a number of recommendations for various other content creators. All content creators that I watch and I've paid attention to, as that could have been 2-0 there, that could have been 2-0. So by all means, like there's loads and loads of great ones out there, but I don't get as much time nowadays to watch them as I used to. So that's how we reward errors. That is how we reward errors. That's a bad first half from us. Not really. We've had a higher share of the ball, but not really had any penetration there whatsoever. We're not going to win if we don't shoot, guys. We're not going to win if we don't shoot. Let's pop back actually for a moment. Let's have a look at what the information is telling us. So first up, let's have a look at our pass map. We've got a lot of the ball. We're really struggling to push it into our front line. We've got a really defined front four. Inquist isn't really pushing that much in, and Dahlstrom isn't really pushing that far up. And Dahlstrom isn't really tucking in as much as I would like. Adam Zhu, he is a little bit kind of level. So we're going to ask Zhu to push more into that area so that we can kind of have a conduit to move forwards. And we're probably going to change the wide playmaker into an attacking role. Hope that we can get them a little bit more here. So we've got a bit more vertical depth. That's the theory, at least. TPS, they're kind of having the same thing. They're struggling to get the ball inside, which is absolutely fine. Who's losing the ball for us? So, Chukwuemeka Okereke is losing the ball a lot, as is Savalainen. Both are meant to be in quite safe roles. He's a fullback on support, but told to take fewer risks. And he's a halfback. So we've got to be mindful of that. Those changes, therefore, we're going to ask him to play as just a plain defensive midfielder. Let's not drop into the back line and take fewer risks. Savalainen, he's meant to take fewer risks. That's my bad there. Then we're going to ask you to... Let's pop him as an inverted winger on attack, in fact. And he's on sit now. He's got the defensive work there. We'll ask defensive midfielder, therefore, to be the more creative player. We'll have him as a deep line player. On the map, that suggests that he should be a little bit higher. So I'm fine with that. We're going to bring off Zhuhi. Zhuhi's going to come off and Karkinen's going to get his debut. So again, we've had a decent amount of the ball, so we can be a little bit more expressive as well. Try and play a few more balls in behind. That's the thought, at least. Snore was asleep at the wheel. He was indeed. He's not. He was. So more diamonds. Campiorinis, apologies, wants us to go back to a diamond. That would be. When will Almasi or Tyreek George make a game appearance? Asked Vladislav Almasi fan. We wouldn't be able to afford them now. Let's be honest. Right, into the second half. Can we do something to turn this around? We're not making loads of tweaks. We're just making a couple of small role changes, essentially. No need to panic. It's an away game. I do wonder whether I think both years in the Cup so far, we've ended up with more away games than home games. So surely this year should be the year that we get a draw with home games, right? Fortuna, unfortunately, robbed of the ball by Wendon Thompson. Enquist's going to play it back to Reitinen. Just hold, wait on the ball, finds Dahlstrom, plays it out. Fortuna's behind his man. Can Fortuna do something here? He's got to do something here. And there we go, Boris Fortuna with a goal. Boris Fortuna. Let's fart that out. We definitely need to have something to celebrate. The fart man. What a fortunate goal. What a fortunate goal indeed. Gets past his man. The angle is not on. But Nokalainen. That's a no to you, Nokalainen. And we are now level. And we've scored from our first shot. So there we go. He let rip. Indeed. Beautiful work. Home versus away game split depends on league position the previous year, I think. We finished 4th, though, last year, right? So we came second in the Liigacup group stage. We finished 4th, but still ended up with 3 away games. So maybe we were just unfortunate. And there we've got a penalty. Who's our penalty taker? It should be Skoglund, right? Should be Scotland. It is Scotland. Scotland makes it 2-1. There we go. There we go. What a turnaround. What a turnaround. We are saved by the fart. We are. Keeper was unfortunate not to get that. You could adapt The Simpsons, do the Bartman. We could indeed. The Fartman strikes. Fart on sight. Beautiful stuff. No, actually, we're watching The Fartman Rises. Oh, I like it. I like The Fartman Rises. Right, into the last 15 minutes or so. Ekenas is tired, and that's going to see Foncel come on. Daniel Enquist has done reasonably well in that second half. We're going to... Lundberg hasn't really done much this game, so on comes Slayman. That's a double change there. Trust you to make a difference. I should have made a slight tactical tweak there, so we'll wait a little bit there. Let's take the Be More Expressive off now. Let's look to just drop the tempo. We don't need to counter. Actually, no, we will counter. We will counter. You know, if we can get a third goal, that certainly makes things a little bit better. Both our shots on target, granted one of them was a penalty, have been goals. Ekenas has his name taken. Dahlstrom's looking tired now. So let's bring on Deanne for Dahlstrom. And we will now start to waste time. Drop down to balanced. And Fortuna is playing well, but we're going to bring on Rockman. Just to keep him a little bit fresh. And then we can carry on making changes from the looks of things. There's not a stoppage thing here. So Snore gathers, that's nice. Eric Fartman, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So I have to go prep for my presentation. I'll be back about an hour 15 if you're still streaming. Good luck with it, my dude. You will absolutely kill it, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's getting a bit windy out there for Fartman. It is indeed. You will do brilliant. Moisander is in behind. Moisander, and there's a save from Snore. Come on, guys. Focus. Focus. HJK are losing currently to Ekenas. Romberg sends it in, and the header is all wrong. There we go. So Cantala has been booked. We're making our last changes. Those changes are going to be Scotland coming off. He's going to be replaced by someone. We've used up all our attacking subs. It's not going to come off a person. So Holmberg's coming on. Person's going to replace Enquist. So we'll do something like that. We'll have him down on support now. That bit's all good. Just going to turn the mentality up a little bit because we maybe are being a little bit too defensive in these last moments, giving TPS a bit too much momentum. So you will ace it, says Hollyfat. He will indeed, won't he? He absolutely will. Knight of Knee wishes you a good presentation over on YouTube as well. Go absolutely destroy it. Be amazing. Holmberg crosses Rockman there, straight at the keeper. Knockalainen gathers nice and easy. Snore woke up with that save. He did. He did. He has made the only save of the game so far. And Savalainen, there's throw in, marks the end of the game. And there we go. That wasn't a particularly good performance, let's be honest. Just the 6 shots, 3 on target. We did get a penalty. And that's kind of the ultimately the difference there. But we responded at in the second half. So that's generally pretty good sign. That's kind of what we want. And unfortunately, that does mean that people have noticed what's about to happen. Marry a he, marry a ho, marry a who, marry a ha-ha. Aha! There we go. So 2 wins out of 3 is not too bad. And hopefully, because we're definitely due 3 home games this year, that means the remainder of our games are at home, right? Let's have a look. Browse, let's make sure we don't move on to the next day. And so we're not. So let's just check. You might be right. You might be right, Johnny, and I just remember wrongly, which is perfectly plausible. Last season, we played 1 at home, 1 away, 2 away, 3 away, 2 at home. So, yeah, 2 home, 3 away last year. Were we maybe 3 at home the first year? Away, home, home. We did get 3 at home the very first season. So I was wrong. I lied to you all. Disgraceful, isn't it? Oh my. And I am knackered once again. This is the real reason why I had to fast forward to proper competitive games. Because I need my workout. I need my pumping the arms in the air workout. Because dear God, does it work. Right, so pretty decent result. We set these guys to rest. And then we've got a friendly coming up against Broma Poikana. So that'll be a chance to get all of these fringe players some game time. That'd be nice. So Oscar Snore, not generally the greatest start there. 1 goal a game conceded on average. But he is doing quite well in this side of things. Yeah, we'll see. He's on loan. This is essentially a long showcase for him to see whether it's worth us putting a bid in when his contract expires. So, Jonathan, yes, there were 7 subs. In the Liigacup, we were able to play trial players. We were able to use loads and loads of subs, which is kind of handy. I actually hadn't realised that in previous years. So we had missed out on that a little bit, because it's kind of like a pre-season tournament, really. Oh, what's that? I can see attributes. I need to sort this out. Oh, I know why. Oh, bollocks. Right, cool. So when I do the setup for Guess the Player, I have to switch to a skin that shows the attributes. If I start the game with that skin, it loads that properties file. Oh, that's annoying. I now know that someone has 12 for leadership. Oh dear. Campiorina says, have to say this part is less funny when you're not watching the VOD in 2-speed. Fair enough. It wouldn't let me type ho with an E on the end. Twitch hates garden tools. It clearly does. Right, question for the Hive Mind. What do you think of Jovial as a personality for vice captain? That's a fair question. What do you guys think, chat? Look, Mano Pants has just had a player choose Newcastle over me, citing that this would benefit his family financially. I offered him 89k a week, and he is now playing for them for 33k per week. Wow. I'm a cheat. I'm a fraud. Lies. Cash. A scam. All fair. Musterman out indeed. In real life, Phil Jagielka was captain of Everton for years, and in FM, his personality was jovial. So not sure if it matters too much, but maybe not ideal for mentoring. That's fair. I mean, jovial, there's nothing bad about jovial, right? I'd much rather have a team full of jovial characters than a team full of model professionals. God, how boring would that be? God, you'd turn up to training, and everyone would be so serious all the time. Right, Holmberger's now out for 2 weeks. That's all right. He's very much going to be a fringe player. So did we win the league yet? Asks RJ. Not quite, but we did win a game. You had the same experience with the naughty word. Yes, you did. However, so it doesn't show me that the naughty word is coming up on the interface I use here, but it does on Twitch. So I've allowed the naughty word, but only for you, Rich. Only for you. So 33k's on the books, 100k off the books. Exactly. Somewhere in your admin control, you might be able to change the list of banned words. I can indeed. I'm quite happy trusting, and I can allow things. But so to have my chat with YouTube and Twitch at the same time, I use a separate interface that isn't Twitch's, which means that I don't seem to be getting the information about the thing. So right here on my computer, right next to my camera, I set it up right next to my camera so that it almost looks like I'm looking at you as I'm reading. It's lovely, eh? It doesn't have Johnny's message saying we can't say ho 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 gatchigasm, but my laptop, which has the Twitch chat does, so I can kind of see it. But anyway, that's boring behind the scenes chat, and we're about to have a break, so I'm going to see you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. And we're back. So Willy Wonka _43, welcome on in. Thank you very much for the follow. If you're comfortable chatting, let us know who you support or who you're playing in FM. Love to hear from you, but no obligation whatsoever to do so. Right now, we're about to play a game of Guess the Player, which is an interactive game for everyone in chat, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I'll tell you a little bit about how it works. So you're going to see 4 snapshots of a player in Football Manager. You're going to see their positions, their attributes, their scout report and the clubs that they played for, one after the other. Your job is to guess who that player is. The earlier that you guess, the more points you get. And the points end you up on these leaderboards. We run one weekly and we run one for all time as well. So a little thing to consider as well is that this is the default database on Football Manager 24. So a player will be at the club that they're at the beginning of the game. If we take someone like Manuel Ugarte, for example, he's moved to Manchester United in real life, whereas obviously in the game he will start at PSG. So let's head on in with the very first clue. We've got some guesses coming in straight away. Generally, these tend to be quite anachronistic. So we've got Cesar Sampaio and Luca Toni. Hung Min goes in with Harry Maguire or Danny Ullman. Hole Fab's gone for Willem van Hanegem. Danny Olmo would be fitting. It would be giving you the conversation about Barcelona looking like they have their shit together. But sadly they don't. So we have a left-footed wide centre-back. Now they could play any of the defensive roles all to an equal quality, whether that's no-nonsense centre-back or libero, which is quite a weird combination. So guesses that have come in, we've got Skriniar, Taylor the Tapes went for Roque Jr., we've got Van Persie, we've got John Egan, we've got Tyrone Mings, Van der Ven, Inigo Martinez, Hurt, Wesley Hurt, Elbich Yabu, Jared Branthwaite, Bastoni, Colwell, Ben Mee, Pau Torres, another for Badges. No, first one for Badiashile. I think it's Jared Branthwaite. I think it's Alessandro Martinez. I would say that you guys are being very, very harsh to some of these players. 2.5 stars, man. 2.5 stars. So Disasi has been guessed again. Nico Schlotterbeck has been guessed again as well. Let's head on over and have a look at the actual attributes that this player has. Because I think we've been over-egging it a little bit. This is a player that doesn't have anything that he's outstanding at. He's got good bravery, good natural fitness. He's not bad by any stretch, but certainly not the finished article. And so Johnny Trotter has gone for Kailar Sayonchu. We've got Daley Blind has been guessed. We've got Langley. We've got Luke O'Neill. Crudmo is still insisting it's Tyrone Mings. Rafi Alfonso has gone for Umtiti. Hung Min has gone for Woot Face. Out Fast. I will eventually remember that it's pronounced out. So he's not good at anything. Mings, disgraceful statements. Is it Yannick Vestergaard? It's none of these people so far. We've got a guest coming in for Walter Zimmerman. It's not Walter Zimmerman either. I don't even know who Ring is, I have to confess. So Chris Metham, Riyadh has been mentioned. Maestro says this is a young lad for sure. You might think so, wouldn't you, with this? So Arpalusa, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Welcome in the middle of a game. So we've got some clues as to a player's profile. Just chuck into chat your guesses for who it might be. It's not Pavlich, I'm afraid. And same to you, Gus Gazera. Thank you very much for the follow. Let's see if we can work out who this player is. We now know that this is a 2.5 star Superliga player that could definitely improve a lot. Potential to be maybe 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. So Arpalusa's guessed Eric Garcia. We've got a guess for Attila Salai. Maybe it's Greece. Maybe it's Debast. Maybe it's Kouliarakis, says Ladislav Almasi fan. Now, I do certainly appreciate that you spelt Coolio like Coolio. The wonderful 90s R&B act. So Greek players are gods, says Hung Min. They are indeed. Maestro has gone for Kouliarakis. Campiorinis has gone for Kouliarakis as well. Never heard of him. Never heard of Coolio or Kouliarakis. That'd be incredible. Out Fabi has gone for Domagai Vida. We've got Traiana Stellas being guessed by Crodmo as well. It is another great win for Ladislav Almasi fan. He's got himself another 2 points because it is, of course, Coolio. Costas Kouliarakis. Gangster's paradise, exactly. Been spending all my life living in Kouliarakis paradise. Oh, Kostas Kouliarakis, what a great player. Recently signed for Wolfsburg. He is indeed at Wolfsburg now. A real shame. I would have loved him to have stayed at Pauk for a little while longer. I am very cognizant that there have been many young Greek players that have made the move to Germany, perhaps a little too early. But hopefully it's not too early for him. So fabulous work there. And we have a redeem for the missing 11 from Out Farby. So let's head on over and play a little round of a missing 11 as well. So Loki thought it was actually spelt Kouliarakis. I mean, Greek names are difficult, man. Greek names are difficult. Like Retsos, indeed. I feel like Kyriakos Papadopoulos moved a bit too early. Papastathopoulos, he had a decent career in the end, Socrates, but he definitely moved too early. Who's the other one? Malayzas. Malayzas, I really thought he was going to be the next big thing, but there we go. Right, so let's tell you how Missing 11 works. So Missing 11, you've got a lineup from a game some point in history, and you've just got to guess who the player is. How did you do that, Johnny Trotter? How on earth did you do that, Johnny Trotter? Right, Johnny Trotter has already... Was it already revealed? Was it already revealed? There we go. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. So I was like Johnny Trotter just looked at a random team, just went, fuck it, I'm going to guess John. But no, it was already revealed. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That might be something. So somebody had guessed an answer that would have been in this one previously, which is why I had to do a reset in one of the breaks. So we've got a guest coming in for George. The way it works is basically you're going to find out what this game is. You just need to guess in chat. If you guess, it will reveal it automatically. So fingers at the ready. We're about to reveal what the game is. And the game is Atletico Mineiro versus Botafogo from a month ago. It's another modern game. It's one that people were watching whilst we were on stream. So I certainly hope that you guys remember. Now we do have a guest came in very early for Almada. Almada was the guest that came in earlier and I had to reset. We've got someone has picked up on Gregor as well, the man who got sent off after only 2 minutes. Hulk, unfortunately, was on the other side. He was playing for Atletico Mineiro. We're looking for the Botafogo lineup. So we've correctly got Vitinho and Telos. That's beautiful. We've got a guessing coming in for Santos. Santos wasn't in the lineup, but we do have Enrique. We do have Jesus. Some fabulous guesses coming in. Somebody's picked up on Jefferson Savarino. Beautiful stuff. Can you remember the centre backs? This is where it's going to get tricky, I'm sure. Someone's picked up Freitas. Beautiful work. That was Out Fabi beating Holofab to the punch. Has he spelt Barbosa correctly? He has spelt Barbosa correctly. And now, can we work out the last one? There, we've got it. We've got it as Adrielson. Adrielson it is. It's Hung Min. Unfortunately, Holofab spelt it incorrectly. You guys got through that remarkably quickly. Well done. Well done indeed. Now, obviously, the most important thing is... Crudmo, small point of order, said Ladislav Almasi fan said Luis Henrique, which is correct, and it didn't fill in the blank. Henrique did fill in the blank, which isn't entirely correct. It's by the name that is submitted officially on the team sheets, where it identifies the shirt name, it's just Henrique. So unfortunately, he doesn't go on his shirt as Luis Henrique, and so it's just Henrique, unfortunately. And that's some fabulous work there. You guys are looking this shit up, I swear. You kind of feel like they might do, but then you think you've got to look it up quickly and then copy and paste. Like the pace that people go up right at the start, like even then if they're looking it up, they're going to start behind. So I'll kind of live with it. And more importantly, well done to me for accidentally revealing John before the start. I think I get a point for revealing John, right? Do you get a free point for John? Asked Johnny Trotter. Well, if no one had said anything, you would have almost certainly got it. I'm going to look it back on the thing. If I see dots, I'll give you some points. Yeah. So by the way, apologies, R. Pelusa and Gus Gazera. Thank you for the follow whilst we were playing the games. If you're comfortable jumping into chat, let us know who you support, who you're playing with in FM. Would love to hear from you. There is no obligation to chat whatsoever. So yeah, exactly, RJ. If people are Googling, they're doing it really fast. Right, into the game. Where's my lovely thing? Stream main. Here we are. We've got a friendly against Romboy Kana. So we're just going to focus on getting players fit, which means that I've basically got rid of the bench of all the players who are 100%. Adam Zhu, he is going to play just because of the options we've got in midfield. Fortuna is definitely going to get some minutes as well. A chance to see how we fare with our reserves against a good Swedish team. This should be an absolute thumping. Let's be honest. Like an Allsvenskan team versus us. We are at home, I suppose, so that counts for something. Maybe we should have gone for someone a little bit lower quality to play against, but here we go. Maybe. I would paste an image of his Botafogo shirt with Luis Enrique printed on it, but I can't paste it here. Cool, no worries. Well, thank you very much, my dude. As I said, where I took it from, which was the, Copa Libertadores site? Possibly. We do need a channel called Crudmo's Pedantry. So I took it from the Copa Libertadores site. There we go. But also, if he spelled Enrique right, it should have picked it up. So I will double check what came... When I do the points picking up anyway, even guessing Luis Enrique should have probably picked it up. Right. I'll just... Look, Manu Pants is going to wait for a recent Bayern game and get a point honestly and from memory. That's the way to play. FMGNC's got to head off. Lovely to have you in, my dude. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful new year as well. Good luck to Villa later. We might need it. Holy fab, but only give Crudmo access to the channel, please. That was going to be the plan. Is Olaf Melberg still the Bromma manager? Quite possibly. Let's check that in a moment. There we go. Nice shot. Good save. Can we pick it up from here? He's not. Magnus Hagland is the manager. Olaf Melberg resigned at the end of 2024 to join Lyngby. Look at him. Such a beautiful man. There we go. So one day you need to pick a team with difficult names to spell. We do indeed. I mean, a Polish team. That would be a plan. The problem is that the more accents that might appear in players' names, the more permutations I have to put in. It's a very, very long and convoluted way of doing it. Oh, Blashikovsky would be quite fun. What's that name of that? What's that player that we've been looking at? The Jafar poor guy. Whatever his name is, whatever team he plays for, that's what we'll go for. Just so that I can keep on saying that name over and over again. Go for an Indonesian team or a Cypriot derby. That could be quite fun. The Greece Euros final. Actually, the Greece finals, they're not that difficult to spell, really. I mean, you've got who played that team. So you have Nikopolidis. That's kind of as it sounds. You'd have Kakkonen. Kakkonen scores. It's only a friendly. It doesn't matter. But that's nice work there. That's Mamadou Diane playing out wide. So there's the left back. Fonsel as the half back plays it down to Diane. He crosses it first time. That's some nice work there. Indeed, Delas, Karasteas, Basanas, Karagounis, Katsuranis. So Karagounis was suspended, wasn't he, for that final? You'd have Fisas, you'd have Zacharakis, absolutely. Karasteas. Did Frizas play that game? I think so. Setoridis was at right back. Kapsis was playing, wasn't he? Was Kapsis playing? I should know this. But you had, Basanas, Zacharakis, Katsuranis. Probably as a sub, quite possibly. I'm shooting blanks for that game. Right, that's what we've got to go for then. We've got to go for Greek only. That's pretty pleasing stuff. So we can potentially... Right, we need to give Alexanderson some time, so we'll give Alexanderson in for Juhi. That means Diane will play there. We're going to look at what Kakkonen is like out on the left. No, we're not. Kakkonen's played a few minutes. He's still going to be a way off in terms of fitness. But we need to get Fortuna's a starter, so he needs to get more game time there. We don't need to bring those on. Willie Nunes. Let's bring on Willie. Willie's going to be a poacher. So here we go, into the second half. Not really. Did Giannakopoulos play? I think Giannakopoulos was on the bench, or maybe, quite possibly. And Kostas went for the much safer guess of Stelios, indeed. Maybe the Olympiacos team who won the Conference League. That's a good suggestion. What happened there? Did you see what the left back did? person seemed to like jump and try to volley a ball that was head height. Can we get enough of it here? Yeah, we can see him if we zoom in here. Yeah, absolutely no clue what he's doing there. The RJ doesn't want the Belgium team from the last 3 years, please. Too many players, impossible to know which one played when. Fair enough, we will definitely do Belgium in recent years then. The FM24 throw-in of death. I like that. Set piece are fine. Here's Isso to make it 2. He hasn't, well blocked. The old defensive bicycle kick clearance. Weird decision. And we've just conceded a corner. So, at the half, the changes, we haven't given them the right message at half time. It's kind of now swung in Broma Poikana's favour. Kurtovic plays it to Wallenberg. If that's William Kurtovic, he was a player we did have an eye on at some point. There's a perfectly brilliant tackle from Fortuna there. Dortmund 2013 UCL final might be one of the best for difficult names. Is that because it has does it have Piszczek and Blaszczykowski? That would be quite fun. Or the fabulous young PSV Vitesse game that ended 6-4. Interesting. So just reposting as it got missed due to the game. Sunderland 0102 database, second season, I've won UEFA Cup and qualified for the Champions League, all by signing only UK and Irish players. I'm still not even favourite personnel. What the F? Indeed. Marvellous achievement. But clearly you've got to do more. That's just not enough, man. Not enough. So there we go. That's Persson, the left back. Maybe a midfielder. Maybe a fullback. I think the loan deal said that we should be playing him as an attacking midfielder left. We don't play with an attacking midfielder left. So we can deal with the fallout from the opposition manager in due course. Zuta shoots from distance. That's over. Right, last changes. We don't need to bring on any of those other guys. They're only there in case we have injuries. So there's Lewandowski in there, there's Grosskreutz in there, there's Schmelzer, and there was Weidenfeller as well. Some good names. Rich, you'll need the Intertoto to become a legend. That's the thing, that's what's missing. Who needs the UEFA Cup when the Intertoto's out there? They only care once you win the Cup Winners' Cup. I love the Cup Winners' Cup. So Paddy says a fun fact about the Finnish league. IFK and FC Lahti fans are notorious for their bullshittery, known to cause lots of issue with security and police. That doesn't sound that fun. That sounds quite disruptive. But no, I know what I mean. Here's Kurtovic. I suppose a good save. It was straight at him, but he did save it, so that counts for something, right? Granath to take the corner. Swung in, Lofgren gets it clear. Right, let's just look to see out the game. Doing the same thing. We're going to drop stuff. We're going to take counter off. We're going to drop that line a little bit. Kuitunen, yeah. Fortuna is now in good health. Rockman. Yeah, no, we'll keep it as is. That's fine. I say this is probably far too much thought for a game that doesn't actually really matter. They must not be finished then, says Maeve. The reserves are going to win the reserve league. Yes, indeed. Do they light flares every match or worse? Yes, what are the shenanigans? What is the shenanigans that they pass off? Because known to cause a lot of issues doesn't sound good, but maybe it's a little bit more fun than that. Right, a corner, all the way through. It's a penalty. Hey, Willie Nunes has done something. It's win a penalty. And here is Dejan. Dejan looking to win himself a contract, potentially. We don't know what his demands are. Slots it away. Johansson guesses the right way. No saving that one, though. Hit quite sweetly. Let's get that zoom back in. There we go. So mostly flares, but also known to cause fights. Flares shouldn't be banned, in my opinion, unless thrown. Flares are a weird thing because, I get that it creates atmosphere, but it also is a really crap viewing experience for anyone caught behind it. So they also arrange fights, which is dumb. I mean, that dumb and football fans kind of belong in the same sentence together, let's be fair. Violence under the pretense of going to a football match has unfortunately been a thing that's happened for far, far too long. I never really understand it. I've had the pleasure of knowing people that claim that they go to the football for fights. I think they're just trying to talk big, to be honest. I don't think that they do. But just the whole concept of it sounds stupid, utterly stupid. I'd understand it more if they didn't buy tickets, but why are you brain dead. A reasonable win against a very good team. Should be quite happy with that. And shit for the air, it makes it hard to breathe for me personally. Exactly. As I said, I get that like having things going off can create an atmosphere. I'd certainly be much more a fan of club organised pyrotechnics and things that are organised and done in a way that creates that atmosphere without impeding everyone else's enjoyment, which I appreciate is a difficult thing to do. We don't need to arrest them. So, Dejan played a really nice ball. He's one-footed. Dejan played one really nice ball to set up a goal. He scored the penalty. He seemed to be quite tidy. I think we're going to see what he wants. Does he not have an agent? He does not have an agent. So let's see. He wants to be a regular starter, which I could certainly see with the way that we're set up that he could do. So that I'm fine. But let's try to make him a squad player with the opportunity to move up the following year. 600 isn't too bad. Let's go all the way down to 500. He's going to push up to 625. Let's try 550. 550 I'm happy with. 550 for a 3-year contract, I'm pretty content with. I think that probably rounds out our transfer activity. So he can play loads and loads of places, and because we have that wide playmaker role is meant to be kind of like a central midfielder who just defends out wide. I think that he really fits into kind of what we want to do. Again, not particularly great off the ball, but when you've got him, Dahlstrom, Skoglund, who can all play that role, I think we should be all right there. Sorry, I did miss some bits. Campione says, just a month ago, Apoel fans almost killed an Ammonia fan outside the stadium while he's passing through with his daughter. See, that shit's not on. For those of us who grew up in an era of large-scale hooliganism, I couldn't agree more. Just pointless. Even if you get Lewis Henrique's name wrong. So yeah, people, especially the far-right ultras, use football to express their anger. That's like the whole... So I know that there's been a rejuvenation of the image of ultras in recent years, almost like making it seem quite romantic. But for me, the whole idea of ultras is so strongly aligned with the hooliganism that comes with it, and that I find it quite jarring when people try and talk about it positively. It's just crazy. As Hungterman says, that's kind of bad. That's an understatement. The naval flares are extremely dangerous and have caused some serious injuries and deaths. So Campione says not even top 5 of the worst things they did in the last decade. And that's the thing, though, is it's not like it's not one club. It's idiots everywhere. I've never understood it. So, Paddy says, why would you intentionally try to hurt someone to begin with? Sometimes I feel like people don't understand how one punch can cause severe damage to brains, for example. I don't think people try to understand. That's part of the problem. Because according to them, it's not just a game, but war. Crazy. Those are illegal anyway, the naval flares. Flares aren't illegal as far as I know. They're just banned from the stadium. But yes, naval flares should be a jailable offence. Absolutely. And it's coming back in parts of Europe. The thing is, it's not gone away. That's the main thing. Is it's not really gone away. It's always been there. But yeah, it's coming back more in force. There's more pride and acceptability over it, which seems crazy. I'll try to negotiate my next contract like that. So generally, I always pop low. I always think that if we can get around 10% off what they're asking for, we're doing okay. Scotland is now out ill for 2 weeks with flu. Bugger off. Bugger off. So we've got Ekenas next. We obviously played them in a friendly. Diania is back with the club. That's marvellous. We'll send him on a course. We'll say hello to him again. So I'm going to look at him. I'm going to train him as a deep line playmaker. And focus is on passing. So that should be okay. Sorry, whereabouts was I exactly? So no big money signings, asked Jonathan Edwards. We've made a massive signing. We spent £9,000. Just for context, when we started, there was no such thing as up to 11. Oh, it's in euros there. 11,000 euros, £9,500. There was no previous higher transfer fee paid. The highest transfer fee that was recorded was £0. So we've spent big. Spent big. So can't you put the money into the academy? I mean, we could ask the board if they want to. I'd much rather I'd much rather we kind of just see what happens here. So we've currently got an overall balance of £1.5 million. A large part of that has come from our European exploits last year. That seemed to have given us over £1 million, despite it should have only been about 600. If you consider that we've also raised £850,000 in transfer fees, a further £175,000 the year before. So over the last year and a bit, we've basically generated £2 million, and our overall balance is £1.5 million. Our operating costs are higher than the revenue we generate over the course of the season. So yeah, we could ask them to put money into the youth academy, but we're going to eventually then find ourselves slipping into the red. And we can't be guaranteed of European football. We can't guarantee kind of those that will get an Olawale who's going to be able to give us big money. So for the time being, we're going to just like play it relatively safe. So fun fact, Crodmo did his university dissertation on this stuff. There we go. Don't agree with you on the ultras, to be honest. There's ultras and there's extreme far idealists masquerading as football fans. These groups are there anyway outside of football. Now, you can certainly make an argument that they aren't representative of the ultras, but there does seem to be a very strong correlation between the existence of those far extreme far idealists masquerading as football fans being inside those ultra groups. And that's been the case for like 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And to the extent that it's very difficult to disentangle them, I would suggest. So Hungdaman says, for all the ruckus that's happening on the pitch, ultras in Vietnam are super friendly. No, sorry, friendly. Fair enough. Very few fights. Right, yes, so Rich is doing his psychology degree now. Is your dissertation, Rich, going to be on football hooliganism? Common criminals joining ultras to use teams as their shield, says Costas. That's one way of putting it. A 2-week man flu for Scotland. Allegedly so. Severe Finnish man flu. To be fair, it is cold up there. It is cold, maybe. I still think he's putting it on. Right, back to our full strength lineup. Oh, I've accidentally... Oh, we can do it from here, can't we? So I want to see Dahlstrom. Okay. I now want to see... Oh, well, I did want to see Scotland out there. So we're going to put Dean out there. Stavitsky is good enough for the bench. Behind the striker, Kakkonen. Up front, good old Arvid Lundberg. As a target forward, Martinen, Kuitunen, Persson, Bonsell, Juhi, Stavitsky, Rockman, Slayman, and Willie on the bench. Let's put Willie on the bench. Here we go. So let's see. Sorry, I do apologise catching up there. So Campionianis is a sociology graduate and see these groups through the societal lens. That's fair. Enkvist, you know that, who's been there for 4 weeks with us. Can you welcome him now? Thanks. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Weird, right? Exactly. Ultras have had a lot of positive impact in football and in local communities. Thugs that use those groups to expand their drug network or to use their mafia influence is another thing. You can have healthy ultras, is what I'm saying. You certainly can have good people within ultra movements. However, you've also got to question why they haven't separated off from those groups. If you know that there's a problem, either if it's just with perception rather than reality, you would think that you would at least attempt to start fresh. And as I say, it's very difficult to disentangle. Right, into the game with Ekenas. Happy Valentine Day. Is it the 14th of February? Beautiful. Hello, Willy Wonka. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. A Sadean basis, there was a really good exhibit at the Culture Museum in Gothenburg about football ultras, particularly those in the Middle East. It was interesting and a far cry from the casual twats we get here. There are some real twats, isn't there? So some guy asked, did you get the goalkeeper situation sorted? Just tuned in after watching the VOD from yesterday. We've signed Oscar Snore. Oscar Snore has had an okay sign to it, and we, at the end of yesterday's stream, we brought in a guy called Artie Marty on trial. He's coming as our backup. So we've got goalkeepers. Whether that solved the issue, I'm not quite so sure yet. And here we are playing my favourite fixture where the team in white and green play against the team in green and white. Marvellous stuff. Right, no, there's not really been much going on in the game so far. We're just going to keep on idly passing it between our defenders and our midfielders. We might need to make those same changes as we did in that other game, because it looks like we're struggling to move the ball forwards. But we've found Karkinen now. He's going to play it to Fortuna. Fortuna has space. Fortuna takes a shot early and Hatfoot pushes it away. That was a good opportunity to take that a little bit further. Sapolo Bionico, welcome in. That's been going on for years. It's an age-old story. It's an age-old story indeed. Essentially, we are animals that like to identify as members of a group and do so by emphasising the differences between us in the group and them in the other group. Football's just a vehicle. We're the same with politics, religion, etc. I don't know what you mean. But anyone who's on the other side of the political spectrum can all bugger off. No, I'm joking. In groups and out groups, indeed. Right, a lovely ball into Fofana there. Fofana turns, gets away. It's a great recovery block there from Akereke, but his pass is a little bit lewd and FM gathers. Castro plays it in. Not been a classic game so far, that's for sure. Kamecho into Dahlstrom. Here's Karkinen. Things happen when Karkinen's on the ball. Even more things happen when Fortuna is on the ball. Fortuna sends it in. And that's unfortunately over. That was a good chance. In America, they don't have this kind of sports following, but they arguably have more of a gang culture in the big cities. Populist tactics, indeed. So I support IFK Gothenburg. I heard you asked earlier. Fabulous, Willy Wonka. How are they getting on this season? Are you happy with how the season's gone? So I think that's coming from a very English perspective, ask Lukmano Pants, on hooliganism and ultra groups. As Campiorina said, a healthy ultra scene is a great benefit for stadium atmosphere and local community. Absolutely, I will definitely acknowledge that there's going to be certainly an English, a British perspective that's going to come from us. So yeah, I completely take that on board. There's a Dill. My word, there's a Dill. How are you, Dill? I hope you're doing well. Let's do a little thing. Let's do a little thing that looks a little bit like that. Now, I'm sure by now you're all following Dill because I've asked very kindly. I've asked very, very kindly, and he deserves it. He's an amazing human being. He's also a pretty good FM content creator, but a human being. He's amazing. So go on over and give him a follow if you're not already. I had a lovely holiday. Thank you very much. How was your Christmas period? I hope you're feeling well. So I can't think of a country anywhere in the world that doesn't have a problem with hooliganism. I think that my knowledge of ultras will probably stem not just from England, but especially the issue that Italy had. But can I say with great confidence that I know enough about the situation of ultras in Gibraltar? No. So we're going to probably look to do the same thing that we did last time, which is push to a deep line forward and inverted winger on attack. Enquist is going to be replaced by Person because he's on a yellow card. With this setup, so Karkinen's not a particularly good passer, but he is a good dribbler. So I'm going to swap those two round. And we'll look to see whether we need to increase the... be more expressive on. But we'll see. We'll see. DMB says, yes, this, I think particularly given the issues we've had in the UK with football hooliganism here, we sort of lump the idea of club ultras in with the football ultras. That's fair. That's fair. As I said, it's difficult to say outside of my known experience and that which has been happened quite famously historically. For example, Italy's issues, especially with some of the clubs like Roma and Lazio especially, we know about them because they are famous issues, and that doesn't talk about what might happen. Like I don't know much about Gibraltar's ultras. I don't know much about Sassuolo's ultras. Brighton can't get there. Lundberg's got to score that. Lundberg's got to score that. It's a great block. Right, looks like chances are going to be limited to corners potentially. Ekenas has picked up a yellow card. So he's going to come off in a second. In fact, that second is now. On comes Fonsell. On comes Stavitsky. Do we have the return of Stavitsky? We have the return of Stavitsky. So we don't need to change that. We are going to ask them just to be a little bit more expressive. And I trust you guys. So the main issue with ultras is that they are immediately equalled with far right groups. There are a lot of left-wing ultras who are nothing like the skinheads you see on TV. So Marek Hamzek is the GOAT. There's a comment about Göteborg, I assume. So here's Fortuna. Fortuna swings it in. Lundberg's got to score that. He doesn't score that. Disgraceful. No, didn't like last season at all. Was Hamzek at Göteborg? Incredible stuff. So I'm a big Philippines national team fan. Great rivalry. Of course, yes. So you had it's been a great time for Philippines, hasn't it? Didn't you get a really, really big win at the weekend? Rowan, how are we getting on with the season so far? We're doing all right. How are you doing, my man? Lovely to see you in. We are 3 games into the Liigacup, and we've currently had 2 wins and a defeat. The defeat is away against perennial title challengers HJK, so that's not too bad. We've made a lot of changes. Now, here's one of them. Loney Person feeds Lundberg. Lundberg with the goal. Time to get a little bit of rock going on.
He's the man in the box. Ahmed Lundberg.
Yeah, there we go. About time. We can make some of the other changes now. So Rockman's going to come on for Karkinen. Juhi to possibly give Dahlstrom a little bit of a break. Diane even needs a little bit there. And Lundberg gets to walk off as the hero. Let's give him that moment. Kuitunen to come on. Do we have a spot for Kuitunen? Make sure we get some game time. Yeah, let's pop him on at right back. Like, that's a defensive role anyway, that fullback support, so that's absolutely fine. So yes, some very good results indeed. Just tuning in before I play the World Cup with New Zealand on stream myself. Oh, interesting. That's going to be one hell of a challenge. They have been some good results indeed. There's a poor header, but he made up by tapping in from just a few yards out. What a legend Lundberg is. So I'm going to leave you guys to the conversations about ultras and hooliganism, because there's a lot of long comments. And if I try catching up with that, I'm never going to get around to it. So the Reyes boy for Philippines looks absolutely phenomenal. He has good potential. A few good American dual nationals that could become regulars. That's the trick, isn't it? It's about getting those players that get a bit of experience in some of the more, not bigger, but more established leagues, I think. And that experience, and then bringing it to the national team. So our second division golden boot was won by a Filipino. Then he got transferred to Spain. Nice. Tales of the tapes feed him crosses, indeed. I mean, let's be fair, we fed him a lot of crosses and he keeps on heading it over. But he did all right when it was 2 yards out. That's the trick. Fair, Twitch isn't the place for this anyway. Let's focus on getting that clean sheet. We've got it. We've got it. Another win. 3 out of 4 will do nicely. I assume that means we've reached the next round now. Gotta be happy with that. We kept Ekenas down to just 1 shot, and they can cause us problems. FM off in particular has often been an issue for us, and that means we can say happy. Let's have a look at what this does for the thing there. We're now 9 points. We haven't guaranteed it. We play into Turku next, but before we get to that, there we go. Now I should really check to see how many people decide to close the stream as I do that, which would be completely understandable. Let's be fair. So, not a Filipino player, but have you ever heard of a player called Arthur Irawan? Let's see. Has Dill heard of it hasn't. No, indeed. So Tells the Tape says, can you give him chances? We're giving him a decent amount of chances. That's for sure. Look at that. 2.36 shots per game. He's pretty well there. He's underperforming his XG. He keeps on missing, but that's okay because we love Arvid Lundberg. Arvid Lundberg can do no wrong. I mean, even if he is looking to leave, even if he is missing those big chances, I love Arvid Lundberg nonetheless. Jesus Christ. Mariehamn plays like Vietnamese national team sometimes. I will take that as a compliment. That does go on too long. It's so unnecessary. I love it. Just like I definitely should have cut it off before we hit the chorus. I definitely should have done. But where's the fun in that? Just filling in lyrics for the chorus. Indeed. Hey, my eyes. Can you solve them? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I do love me a little bit of Alice in Chains. Oh, such a shame with Lane Staley, eh? Mariehamn, indeed, Jan Kaiser. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well, my dude. Always a banger with the cam delay. I really need to watch it back live. Wait, is this Hard Rock Hallelujah? Campurinus, it is indeed Hard Rock Hallelujah. Because Lordi are a Finnish band. So there we go. Damn, Musterman, your production continues to exceed itself. So fun. I mean, the production, let's face it, is pretty damn bad. But it's fun. I will definitely agree. It's fun. It's bad, and the bad is the charm. I hope, maybe. Knight of Knee once again says, "Oh lordy, indeed." Right, only asked as he was on Man United's book. I interviewed him for a place at a grammar school I taught at the time. For info, it's a long time ago, so I'm not breaking any safeguarding rules. I mean, I wouldn't know who to report to anyway. I think you'll be fine. We'd have to know who you actually are, unless we can find that out easily. He didn't make it at United, went to La Liga, and then back to Indonesia. Fair enough. That's quite cool. It's quite cool. So Campurina says it's the best Eurovision song ever. That's a fair shout. But do you remember? What's it even called? I think it was called something like Eastern European kind of funk. And it was Latvia's entry, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it started with a kazoo solo. That was a great song. That was an incredible song that I don't think it even made it to the main event. I think it got knocked out in the semi-finals, but it was still an amazing song. The guy is 31 now, so I think it's fine. You should hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope so. Right, anyone knows Marin Petkov from Levski Sofia? Have you been, are Anderlecht being linked with him? Is that why you're asking? I would say let's look him up, but doesn't really help when you can't see attributes, does it? If he's even loaded. So there is a Marin Petkov. He's 22 years old. Look at him. He's a clean-looking young lad, isn't he? With his lovely little chin beard. Left-footed right winger. 16 caps, 2 goals. I have no idea if any of this is accurate because we have no scouting on him. Prior to this, he'd scored 10 goals in about 45, 78, 82. Yeah, that doesn't help you whatsoever. All I remember is that epic sax guy from Eurovision. Who and Go says that he's the GOAT, or he's his GOAT. He's very good on FM for me. Signed him a lot. Fair enough. Sounds promising then, RJ. Right, it's another friendly, because for some reason at this point during the tournament, there's now 2 weeks in between games. So again, we're going to look at all the reserves. Martin comes in, Kuitanen, Persson, Bonsell, Juhi, Stavitsky, Brockman, Slayman. Willie Nunes will stay on the bench. Holmberg comes in. Lofgren in. Mohammed onto the bench. Skoglund still out with the flu. Anyone else? So we've got Dahlstrom actually needs game time, right? Dahlstrom and Deanne needs game time. Right, Fonsell is still on the transfer list. We haven't had any bids for him. But Dahlstrom needs game time. We can just make sure those are the priorities for substitutions. And this one we will basically, we will zoom through this. We will turn the speed up. We will make changes at half time and then go on holiday for the rest of the game. And once we know that we've kind of done our bit in terms of getting this to where we need it to be, and then we can get the game against Interturku. Now that'll be an away game. We lost to Interturku last time round. Interturku hadn't won a single game. They'd lost all their games. Oh, Stavitsky. It's not the Stavitsky. Stavitsky misses the penalty at super speed. Last year, Interturku lost all 4 of their opening games, and then we played them and they won. So away from home against Interturku, we might need to just be a little bit careful. We do know that they are quite good, and we need, I think, a point to make sure that we're through to the next round to defend our title. As Rockman goes with a chance in the, it's just friendly, doesn't matter too much. So between him and Huesca, I wanted wingers. Fair enough, a central defender, and we good. Root is in. Good evening, Root. How are you doing, my man? Lovely to see you. How was your Christmas? Yeah, a little bit flat this game so far. Who are we playing against even? It's Vasteras. They're quite a good team as well. Missed penalty is what it is, isn't it? So, yellow card for Lofgren and Holmberg. In at half time. Not exactly what you call a classic. Let's set a tone. Who are those guys we wanted to make sure get some game time? So, we are bringing on Karkkonen for Rockman. Nunes up front. Let's see how Nunes copes as a pressing forward. Fortuna's okay. Fonsell needs to come on. Fonsell's going to replace Juhi. So Dahlstrom can move into that role. Let's pop Fortuna at fullback and Kerrigan at centre back. That's like that's kind of a no. Mohammed is a right back. Mohammed can come on. There we go. Kerrigan can actually play there. That's fine. Head into the second half. We turn the speed down, ready for the next game. And then we leave it to the assistant manager. That should be fine. So Christmas was good. Just seeing out the end of the year now. How was yours, mate? Mine was lovely. We were here all day, every day, and it's really nice. Lovely to provide a space. Lovely to have everyone in and have people to chat to. Not stressful in the least. I definitely didn't have a mini breakdown over target forwards. But other than that, yeah, good. Crudmo is going to feed the Crudmo. He's gone for sausage pasta. That is a fine choice. Albert Hugo says, what's your favourite formation with 3 centre-backs? I can't say I necessarily have a favourite formation with 3 centre-backs, Albert. Like, I'm quite happy with a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3. I'm quite happy with them narrow, with them wide, with a 2 and then a 1 in behind the striker, or one, like... I can't say I have a specific favourite formation whatsoever. I have one formation I don't like. I'm not a fan of a 4-2-3-1, but otherwise, yeah, I don't think I have one that I could confidently assert is a favourite. Right, last opportunity. So Larsson's transfer goes through today. See if we can get anyone to bid from Mikael Forsell. Still nobody interested in right now. Sao Paulo Salo still want him on loan, but they're not even forthcoming with an offer. Let's pop him offered out without actually saying how much we want. See if we can get something for him. Please, just anything. So Hank is back. How did it go, my dude? How did it go? There's a double hello. I feel like that makes you feel, that sounds good. That sounds like it went well. So Arpelousa's favourite is a 5-2-3 with 2 Segundo Volantes on attack. He likes to really flood forwards. It's not the statistics. They couldn't even balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle. It went well. That's a relief. Good to hear. I can imagine just how nerve-wracking it is. Marvellous. There we go. Crudmo's got a thumbs up. Holy Fab's gone with a thumbs up as well, and Johnny Trotter. See, we're all pleased to hear it. So you said it was on radiology, wasn't it? Unfortunately, it's a long time back in the chat. I can't. Is it radiology or radiography? I do apologise if I maybe got them wrong. So yeah, what did you have to do? Now that it's all out of the way and you can decompress. Let's convince him to leave. Maybe he will. FC Jazz need to reduce their current wage bill. He's on no money at all anyway. So presentation on radiology used to diagnose esophageal cancer, basically. Oh my word. And Night of Knee comes in and says congrats H-Tang as well. I know that you can't see the YouTube chat, so very kind of you, Night. now Knight can see Hank's response, and he's just got knee. Sorry, Knight can see Hank's response. Was that what I just said? Who knows? Jay Fitz, thank you very much for the follow, by the way. Yeah, no, that sounds like one hell of a subject to do a presentation on. Especially because I assume that your audience are all going to be reasonably well versed on the topic as well. There's a big difference between doing a presentation to lay folk like us, for example, where you're the expert, and doing it to others that actually understand what's going on and you feel them picking it apart. Holy Fabs, there's so many difficult words, my brain. That's fair. So G-Fits 11. If you're comfortable chatting, let us know who you support or who you're playing with who you are playing with in FM. Love to hear from you. But there's absolutely zero obligation whatsoever to do so. So feel free to lurk if that's what you feel more comfortable doing. Right, we've got through without any injuries, which is marvellous. I say that, there's a day to go. So true, but the expectations weren't too high, to be honest. Fair enough. I want to go into oncology, so at least I found it interesting and tragic. I mean, yeah, understandably. I mean, my granddad had esophagus cancer, and it was quite shocking how quickly it went from being absolutely fine to not being particularly fine anymore. I think that's the lightest way of describing it. You can see it indeed, says Night and Knee. So Johnny Trotter says under promise and over deliver. Exactly. RJ says there are games on tonight. There are indeed. Didn't even see. So yeah, that's why we're on early. So that if I want to, I can watch Aston Villa, which is probably not the most fun thing to do, to be honest. Not after we lost last week. Right, back to the full thing. So sorry to hear, man. Yeah, it's often late to be diagnosed. Very insidious. Yeah. So I mean, this is what, 20 years ago. Longer than 20 years ago. Much longer than 20 years ago. How old am I? I'm 30, it's like 25 years ago. So yeah, and like absolutely, he was like a 40 a day smoker and various things that kind of, you know, it kind of makes sense. So those are the things, but yeah, it was quite crazy indeed. Fuck cancer indeed, Holyfab. You're going to watch Man United get Man United. That's fair. DMB's got money on Villa, so I'm sorry on your defeat. I will blame you. I will blame you personally. But anyway, up the Mariehamn. Indeed. What about Chelsea versus Ipswich? No one wants to watch Chelsea versus Ipswich. I was thinking of watching Villa Brighton. Do you think it's... I think it should be entertaining for a neutral. Not for a fan, though. Right. We've got a break coming in about 5 seconds, so I'm going to see you in 3 to 4 minutes. Catch you in a moment. Right, so I've just come back a little bit early. The ads are still in progress, but I saw Lukman No Pants question. So you can see in a couple of ways. So if you look at the pass map, you can filter down by clicking on players. And so here you can see the specific relationships between Sebastian Dahlstrom has found Timo Stavitsky here. Most of his combinations were here on the left, between the left back and the attacking midfielder. Some of the defenders there. Not much to his player inside. We did bring Shuhei off at half time. So you can see this way. which is one way of doing it. You can also by going into the games as well. So if we pop into the game against Ekenas, for example, and you look at the pass map from here, you've got combinations all, and this gives you a breakdown of all the various different passing combinations. So I can see that there are 21 passes between Cometio and Dahlstrom, and you can then go and drill into them as well. So you do get an answer there in a lot more detail, which is quite cool. Right, anyway, there was a redeem on the Only Connect, so we're going to go and do the last round of Only Connect, and then we're going to head into the final game of the league stage of the Liigacup. So let's explain Only Connect. Before we explain Only Connect, let's just catch on a couple of things. So I saw that Hungdamin thinks that a win against Newcastle is going to be promising with Rashford back for Man United. That's a bold take, maybe. Yes, centre-backs do love passing to the full-backs. And people have identified that, yep, the pass map, there we go. Ladislav, our massive fan, you've got Chelsea as part of that treble. You'd think that Chelsea are going to win for sure, right? So how much longer am I on for tonight, trying to manage my wife's television expectations? Probably, we'll see where it takes us after the Inter game, but the Villa game starts at 7:45 and I need to order some takeaway, so it's probably going to be not that long after the next game that we play in there. So GFit supports Man United. You're doing a journey save in FM, currently at Nice. Nice. Yeah, that wasn't deliberate. So where have you been in the journeyman save before then? How's the journey gone? So DM Basis does not normally bet, but felt little temptation this evening. That's fair. What am I ordering? I had some Chinese today. So Paddy, I live in the middle of nowhere. My options are basically Domino's Pizza or one of about 4 or 5 Indian restaurants that have all been a little bit underwhelming. So it's probably going to be Domino's. That said, and ACAB's gone, so it's fine for me to say this. I'm not a big fan of kebabs. So there is a kebab shop as well that delivers, but yeah, they're not great. So my options here are awful. Domino's isn't great. The Indians aren't great. The kebab isn't great. But sometimes you just need to do it. Right. Let's explain Only Connect for those that aren't familiar. The way this works is it's a bit like the British daytime game show. You're going to see 4 pictures of football players, one after the other. You've got to work out what the connection is between them. They will all share something in common. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Now, you're not going to have the name of the player written on the screen anywhere. So if you know who the player is, mention it in chat, and that way you guys can all kind of work things out together. It kind of gives everyone a little bit of a clue there. So let's head on in and see what we've got. Our very first person is this gentleman. Now, do we know who this gentleman is? So some hatred in for Domino's, which is understandable. Has anyone ever just been whelmed rather than under or over? Whelmed is okay. Well, I think I've been whelmed. I think the problem is if you're whelmed, it's not momentous enough, right? Maybe we should start telling people when we're feeling whelmed. Am I talking about kebabs or doner in general? Kebabs in general. Just never been a fan. My Domino's go-to is pineapple and jalapeno on a barbecue base. Sorry, not sorry. That is a fine choice. I tend to go for the barbecue chicken one, but get rid of the chicken and replace it with pineapple. I am that much of an awful person. So, mind if I do a last chance presentation, bully the patrons into voting for Sporting after the game? By all means, Night of Knee. By all means. So, RJ says it's a Wolfsburg dude. Very good point. Ladislav Almasi is guessing at the fastest speeds in the Premier League ever. That's not it. But are you going to help people know who the player is? So, Tales of the Tape says, "Oh, Mickey, you're so fine." It might well be. So, Outfarb is wondering whether that's wind. It's not wind. So, I can't believe there's people who don't like Donna Gyros. I'm sorry. Like, I love Souvlaki. Souvlaki, brilliant. But yeah, Donna meat, just never really been able to deal with it. Do they share names with cartoon characters? Because it's someone called Mickey. That's a fair guess. And they're all players who are teammates of the mighty Fraser Forster. That's fine guess as well. It's not that, I'm afraid. Never won a trophy, says Jonathan Edwards. It's not that either. Let's move on to the next clue. Let's move on, see if that helps at all. So, Paddy, we don't have Domino's, but isn't it one of those places where you know what you're going to get? It's not good, it's not great, but you know what you get. Pretty much. I mean, it's a very standard chain pizza. It's a solid 6 out of 10. Is it players with 4-part names? It isn't. Would anyone in the chat like to say who that player was, just in case someone didn't know who it was? Or are we starting to play like all quite tricky? We're trying to make it difficult for those that don't know. So there we go. Arpalusa says that's Mickey van der Ven. You gentlemen, or Van der Veen has he gone for? Do they all have 3 names? It's not that either. By the way, Ober Ernst, thank you very much for the follow. This is Fodinho, Foden. It is indeed. That's Phineas Fogg. So scored in the under-21s World Cup. That's a fine guess as well. Players who look like annoying brats, says Lukmar No Pants. That's fair. It's not that, but it is fair. Tales of the Tapes calls him the Stockport Iniesta. Jonathan Edwards guessed that they're all left-footed. Where are they going to be all fit? They're not all going to be left-footed, I'm afraid. Flip Foden, Flip indeed. Player of the season for their clubs last year. That's quite fine. Robbie Joey has guessed that they are under the age of 25. I don't know if they all are. But that is a reason. There's nothing wrong with that guess at all. I think there may be some that are around 25, but age might have something to do with it. So they all get injured in a final. That's fair, but it's not that either. First international cap under 20, or youngest debutants for their national team, coming in from Demir and Hank there, and they all scored from very far away. Or neither showed up for the Euros, and it's none of those. It's not that they have a fade either. And let's see if the next one helps at all. Does the next clue help whatsoever? And now, I assume once again we know who this is. Crudmo is registering his disgust that the player is a Liverpool player. Hank has said that it's the Real Madrid right back indeed. So they all will play for Madrid, goes for Campioninis as well. It's not that. It's what's the gobshite doing on my screen? He's not much really, he's just being there. So they all played in Britain. That is fair. All the players will have played in Britain, but that isn't the connection we're looking for. So they all score on the 31st of December. That's an interesting New Year's Eve themed guess. It's not that, I'm afraid. So it's the B-Tech Reece James. There's a bold take. So they all average over 6 progressive passes per game. That would be a very me choice, wouldn't it? Don't be mean to Musterman saying that what's that gobshite on my screen. I mean, it's fair, let's be fair. Played with Sterling is a good guess. They all faced Metham. They all have a fade. Look, Mano Pants is obsessed with the hairdo. They all have birthdays in January in link to Real Madrid. They're all overrated. They're the fastest players in the league. There are some very, very good guesses, but no one really is particularly close. Well, I say no one is particularly close. I mean, so RJ said that they all have stupid numbers in club, and that's kind of you're getting there. You're getting very close. RJ is certainly the closest so far. There was a little comment earlier about people being under 25 as well. That wasn't quite what we're looking for, but certainly has some relevance. So we've got this last one here. It's got rice cake is what it's being called. Declan Rice indeed. So Ladislav Almasi has gone for highest numbers for their team. I don't know if they're not their highest numbers for their team. So they all have numbers higher than average. They do have numbers higher than their average indeed. Let's see what the other guy says. Needs Vita Bayer with number 99. Vita Bayer or even Gigi Buffon would have been good ones in there. So all play with their debut number. That's a fair guess. I think they do. We've got their squad numbers related to a family member. E.g. Foden wears 47. It's the age of his granddad died. It's not that, unfortunately. So all players have numbers greater than 30. They do have numbers greater than 30. But it's not quite that. Got nothing else other than that. All have numbers the same, e.g. 66 and higher than standard squad numbers. Indeed, we've got 37, 47, 66, and 41. Gladislav says 42. Their numbers add up to 10, 11, 12, 13. No. So I'm going to bring you guys back once again to Ladislav Almasi's comment about 25. And there we go. There we go. Ladislav Almasi fan has put it together. They've all got numbers higher than their age. So 41 for Declan Rice, he's 25 years old. 66 for Trent Alexander, 26 years old. 47 for Foden, 24 years old. 37 for Van der Ven, he's 23 years old. The fabulous, beautiful point going there. A very, very hard-earned point, Ladislav Almasi fan. So we've no idea. So minus 10 points to Crudmo. I certainly wouldn't do that to you, Crudmo. I'll take the 10 points off Everton instead. Oh, come on, says Crudmo. I mean, I gave you very early on that there was... as soon as Ladislav Almasi said age, I said it. Good guess. It's not that they're under 25, but you're along the right lines. There we go. Not interesting, says Look Mar No Pants. Never changed their numbers was a perfectly valid guess as well. So Johnny Trotter, oof, higher than their rage indeed. Really, says Demir. We can't keep them being easy. There's something notable about it there. We gave you the clues along the way. It's not my fault that you didn't listen to me whittering on like the annoying little gnat that my voice is. Let's be fair. I'm just making noises right now. Yes, there's a clap from Hollyfab. Well done. He's dissing us. I am dissing you. I'm dissing you specifically, Crudmo. No, that's the problem. Is I've got to just like put you on notice every now and then. You're not meant to be listening to me, but I just want to check who is. That's all it is. It wasn't easy. Night of Knee. Now it wasn't as abstract as sometimes the Friday night ones can get, but yeah, there was certainly a little bit tricky. So Musterman out, says Hank. Crudmo in. And Crudmo unsurprisingly votes for that. That's understandable. Well, Crudmo, there's a gap tomorrow evening to fill. There you go. There's the opportunity. Right, so here we go against Inter Turku. I've made the changes that we've kind of made at half time in a couple of games. So inverted winger, deep line playmaker. We've not added be more expressive as standard. We can do that if we need to later in the game. But we're just going to try and start this way and then maybe pare it back. Musterman out from Campiorinus as well. It's understandable. I completely and utterly agree with you guys. Right, we'll talk about revenge once again. Last time we talked about revenge, we conceded in the opening 10 minutes or so that probably wasn't the best choice, but there we go. Anyway, and Hank has applauded. Good man. A chat, would you support me getting arrested if I break into Musterman's house and do the stream tomorrow night for him? Will some of you visit me in prison? Well, why don't you do it easier, Crudmo, and just do it from your own house? Like, you've got a Twitch account now. It's perfect. Here we go. There's a cross coming in. Seiju is able to play it into Ayuba. Ayuba on the edge of the area. Kekarainen sends it miles over. The empty stands didn't even react. Yeah. Let's start the streaming debut as of tomorrow. Be beautiful. Right, Lundberg steps in, plays it back to Kimetio. And here's Dahlstrom now. There's not really a path to pass it. He finds Wrighton. He's going to carry forwards. Finds Deanne. Deanne finds it to Lundberg. Shoots early. I don't know why he shot early on his weaker foot there. There's a poor chance. You want me to start a save as IFK Mariehamn and get 3 years into it by tomorrow? Fine. I'm sure you could. A deep cross comes in. Here's Savalainen. Savalainen against the angle. Fires straight at Vjorjoki? Oh, that's a name I'm not going to be able to pronounce. Right, some encouraging signs early on. Wrighton plays it back to Kumecho. Kumecho seems to be naturally being the deeper of the two defenders, which is interesting. Enquist feeds Karkinen. Karkinen to Lundberg. Lundberg scores, and you know what that means.
He's the man in the box.
Right into the top corner as well. What a finish. From our Finnish striker. Right, can Inter Turku hit back immediately? Almano with the corner. into the near post. We get the clear first time, but second time to Saiju, and there we go. Arlen Saiju, what a strike to equalise. Finish them, what a finish, they say, as we see the tragedy unfold of the equaliser. Tervonen plays it to Saiju, first time volley. Oh, that was a sweet goal. That was a sweet goal too. That didn't last long, did it? Given that their symbol is a lion rampant, like UK also has in their royal standard. Right, is it now? Interesting. So fine. So that's the reason why we should go with Sporting, by the way. They also share a connection with the UK because of Cristiano Ronaldo and Amorim. Right, here's a free kick. Ayubi sends it in deep. We get it clear this time now. Dean got it further away, but it's Opoku to Halima. Halima out to Saiju. Saiju is causing issues. Saiju twists past one. Gets the ball back. There's the angle to cross it. Ayubi. Snore punches it clear. Opoku to Kikarainen. Shots blocked. Shots blocked. They send it in again, and Snore claims. Good work from Snore. I hate throw-ins and corners in FM, says Lookmano Pants. That's fair. I missed that. What the? Cometio? Oh, Cometio. Oh, Cometio. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. FM24 set pieces and not getting into position again. There's definitely a struggle with resetting their positions. There's also a struggle with making simple passes. But oh well, that's what happens, right? Can we hold on, or will Inter Turku add a third? Ayubi finds Kekarainen. He's created space. His shot goes wide though, and there we go. Another banger. I hate defending throw-ins, says Paddy. Indeed. Billy Solux, indeed. Passing to two players ended up to no one. It did. Bring back Machado, says Ladislav, a massive fan. Zhao Fadik is a fan of Night of Knee's pitch. So Night of Knee added some more parts to his pitch for Sporting. It says, finally, their motto is effort, dedication, devotion, and glory. I urge you to vote for them as a symbol of meritocracy. Well, I mean, the problem is, though, Night of Knee, is you're making Sporting sound really good. And if a team is really good, they don't need the help of Moneyball Clinic, do they? So what you've possibly done, foolishly, is argued against them being the choice. What do they teach them boys at Liverpool Academy? He's clearly been learning from Jimmy Traore rather than Virgil van Dijk. I can't say you've done nothing wrong. We simply have to be better in front of goal. Let's go to being more expressive. Ekereke. We make the double change. Kumecho needs to learn that that's not acceptable. Ekereke is on a booking as well, so he's going to come off. We're going to bring on Skoglund and Stavitsky. So those are the changes. Dejan can tackle, so we're going to have him in the deeper position there. Skoglund can play that role there. We might... In fact, no, we're going to swap those round. We're going to go to what we normally start with. That's our normal one, but now we've just got Be More Expressive on. Let's see, so 3 substitutions. We're allowed to make 7, so there's no harm in doing so. Let's go there. Let's see, so there. Is he our ball-playing defender? He's not. That's the problem. He's not a ball-playing defender. He's just a gentleman who made a bad decision. Sacked in the morning. Mariehamn is worse than Vietnamese national team now. It's always morning and or night in Finland, so sacked in the now. Sacked during the match, during the break, during the interview. That would be very harsh. That would be very harsh indeed. As reigning league champions Inter Turku have another chance from a corner. It's the second phase of a corner once again. Skoglund makes a great challenge though. Can we clear our 9s? We can. Here's Karkinen. Karkinen doesn't keep control of the ball. There's a chance for Inter Turkey to come back. Saiju with shoots from distance, loops up and over. Sacked while throwing the bottle. Quite possibly. Right, here we have a free kick. Stavitsky, narrowly over. You know, I never feel much excitement over free kicks, I'll be honest. Right, we're going to see anything much happen? We're not. So into the last 20 minutes. Let's push some players forwards. We're going to bring on Person. We're going to... looks like we had a chance whilst we're doing it. Let's remember to pause. And we're going to bring on Adam Zhu here as well. So Dahlstrom hasn't been particularly exciting. And that means... Right. Let's push him forwards a little bit further. So that's the position that we want him in. Karkinen. Come off for Rockman. So let's take that off, because we're going to be more attacking by increasing that element there. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see, last 20 minutes. Do we dare look at what the situation is? This will drop us out. This will drop us out because HJK are winning. They're winning 2-0 away. We need an equaliser. We need an equaliser and nothing much is forthcoming. Back down to positive. At least we're creating chances on positive. Put you on attack. Let's make you a volante. Move you across to the left-hand side. So we've got... We're going to ask Stavitsky to be a little bit more conservative. We're going to try and flood forwards there. Actually, we'll keep you on support. So we've now got the shadow striker there. We're going to ask you to be more aggressive. And Lundberg scored. But is he coming off? He is coming off. Bring on the Slayman. The Slayman is going to save the day. Into the last 10 minutes. Let's also... A little bit of firing up. We haven't created chances. We don't deserve anything out of this game ultimately. Even if we have conceded from only 0.64 XG. Here's Seiju to wrap it up. Good save from Snore. He does make a change. Nice passive-aggressive reference to reigning league champions into Turku. Indeed. Back after a while. Is he getting the sack? I am, apparently. Free kicks almost never get scored. Indeed. Before the next highlight. What happened? I missed the entire start of the season. We lost a game, and so chat thinks I'm getting sacked. So I pointed out that we are. It was against the reigning league champions. A team that we lost to at this stage last time, but it means that we will no longer be able to defend our Liigacup title. That's a shame. 3 wins, 2 defeats wasn't enough. There we go, we're out. Let's browse because it won't allow us to rest. That does mean we need to arrange friendlies now. We've got big gap until the season starts in April. Basically 5 weeks, I think. So lots and lots of friendlies to come in, and that means we can get everyone up to full fitness before the season starts, which is cool. Training, rest 1 day. So Knight of Knee also wants to say they're the smallest of the big 3 Portuguese football clubs, but the ideas behind them are indeed great, as they have a lot of different sports and teams under their banners. It's up to Patreons now. Let's see. Probably against 3 handling reflexes goalkeeper. That's a standard, isn't it? I'm just surprised they even get the shots on target. Sometimes free kicks are okay. I think we scored like 1 last season. Woo. Sacked after the sauna. Does seem like it. Must out. Musterman, if he gets sacked, you'll have to put up with stream of Crudmo. Could be worse, eh? Could be worse. Sacked via fax. Yeah, we have some days off. No Liigacup nonsense. The problem is the Liigacup is great as a chance to win something, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our reserves appear to... Is that our under 20s are playing that? So, yeah, we can play those games at the same time. Let's see if we can get some nice teams in. Let's see. So, shall we try and get some teams over that we might be able to beat? I feel like we could beat Sarpsborg. I believe that we could beat Santrudan? I don't think we could beat Santrudan. But that seems a lot more plausible that we could beat. Let's see if we can then have some bigger teams. What's the most money we can make? Shabab won't come this far, will they? No. Oh, I didn't check to see whether the other teams would come. They probably wouldn't, would they? Oh, Genk would. Genk would come. Are Genk the biggest earners here? Genk are the biggest earners here. So let's see if we can get the Belgian teams over. Then another one here. Antwerp, potentially. Rapid Wien. Rapid Wien would come. That should earn us not much, but enough. Then the last one before the season actually starts. Let's invite somebody that we can beat very, very easily. And you know, make sure that we recover the morale that will come as a result. Liigacup, who cares? Champions League is calling. If only. If only. Now I'm going to be sacked on the team bus. So far, it looks like I'm going to be sacked during the game, sacked after the game, sacked on the bus, sacked in the interview. We still seem to have a job, though. What a shame. Get Big Sam on the phone. How can these? So you don't get Europe from the Liigacup, unfortunately, Campiorinis. We won it last season, and that didn't get us European qualification. We got European qualification by finishing 4th in the league. After a long, unnecessary extra playoff after the playoff. How can these teams have time for friendlies in February? I know, it is a little bit weird. The fee is higher than the income, says Ladislav Almasi. Oh well, we're going to lose some money then. It's done now. Especially in Belgium with your 30 plus 10 plus Cup plus Europe. So maybe the league isn't loaded, so no fixtures are calculated. We'll take advantage of such. That's all right. You're going to be rehired just to be sacked again. All seems very cruel over an away defeat against Interturku. There we go. I mean, if the fans are calling for my head now, it's understandable. It's only a matter of time before I get sacked. You know, once you have that dreaded vote of no confidence, it's just a ticking time bomb. Sass is in. Why, hello, Mr. Sass. I hope you're doing well. How are you? How was your Christmas? How's your festive period been in general? Lovely to see you here. So right, okay. In fact, I did say that after the intergame, we'd probably call it for the stream anyway. Well, hello. My word, McKins, you absolute gentleman. Now, I assume that all of you are already very much aware of the beautiful, the glorious, the wonderful, the sexy, the amazing, the kind McKins. If you're not, you should be giving him a follow. Welcome in, Raiders. Lovely to see you here. I was just about to close up for the end of the stream, but as we've got some new people coming, let's carry on for a little bit. We do have a Villa game coming up in a moment that I was going to cover, but let's say hello. I'm MustermannFM. I am somebody who once upon a time made some skins, occasionally make YouTube videos, occasionally stream, and often loses to McKins FM on Match of the Delay. We are currently in Finland. We had just started Season 3. We're at a club called IFK Mariehamn. They're based on an archipelago just off the main coast of Finland that speaks Swedish as its official language. So we're going to try and make this team a little bit more Swedish over the course of the next few years. And you've arrived just as we've been knocked out of the Liigacup. The Liigacup is a pre-season tournament. It starts with a group phase and then splits off, and we won it last year. It's our first trophy in the save to date. It's the first time the club had won it in their history at all. And we were trying to defend it, and we failed. We lost on the final day to Interturku, and they jumped above us in the league table and have knocked us out. So we've now got a series of friendlies coming up before the main season starts. So welcome on in. You will see that everything looks a little bit different than normal. Now, McKins, I always raid you when you're about to end your stream. It happens, doesn't it? It happens. I very much appreciate you, though, dropping in. Very much. How was your stream, though, by the way? How is everything going at the moment? So, whoa, says Hank as the stream comes in. Sasmas was saying that he's had a lovely Christmas, which is great to hear. Bex says definitely sexy. He is. McKinns is exceptionally sexy. The way he wears that hat, the little smolder in his eyes. Ooh. Cockroach Melch is responding to the big question that appears there. His biggest disappointment this season is for Mariehamn losing on the opening day. We didn't lose on the opening day. Now, don't be mean now. We beat Nistan quite comfortably. We lost on what turned out to be our closing day. So Raiders coming in during the sacking process. So you might see that chat are picking on me at the moment because we've lost. We're not in danger of being sacked. We're expected to be a relatively small team. And losing to the team that just won the league isn't particularly much of a deal in a pre-season tournament. But there we go. So let's go Sweden. Let's invade Finland. Exactly. Welcome in, Comrie. Thank you very much for the follow, Kieran. Thank you, Stephen1526. Thank you all, Flatius. Really, really appreciate it. Stop flirting. I'm never going to stop flirting with you, McKinns. I'm never going to stop flirting with you. I created tactics based around Swindon just for you. Just for you, man. And thank you, Comrift as well. Really, really appreciate it. So we're gonna head on. We'll play the last. It's just going to be a friendly. We're getting to learn our new squad. We went for a bit of a clear out over this winter because we were underwhelming. Finished in 7th out of 12 last year. So we've got rid of some of our favourites. We had a striker called Mohamed Tehi Olawale. We even had a song for Olawale, but he wanted to leave. And £400,000 at this level is an incredible amount of money. So we've let him go. We've let go another couple of favourites, a guy called Dylan Shambost. And we're now in that rebuild period. We've probably taken a step or two backwards in the hope that we're going to go forwards. I should probably explain things a little bit better here. Occasionally stream. Okay, so who and go? I might have had a few streams in the last few days. Absolutely. But normally it's only 2 or 3 times. And I've only been doing this since October, which is why my commentary and my talking is all over the place. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Holofab says Shambos the favourite. Hell no. Shambos what was very much a favourite of Adam's. Adam was very, very strong advocate for him, so we'll count him in that much. So tactics in Swindon. Is that a tactic to lose 10-0? Oh, poor Swindon are in shambles. That is true. I mean, it wasn't based on how Swindon play in real life. It was based around the magic roundabout, which is, I think, the only redeemable feature of Swindon, right? Again, sorry, that was unnecessarily mean. He's drunk, but switch alcohol with streaming. I am drunk on streaming indeed. I think they call it mania, Hank. Let's be fair. Shambout, we're going with Shambout. He was, for a short while, he was Shambosh. He scored quite a few goals for us last season. Set up a few as well. But a casualty of a change in tactical approach. So, for those that don't know and those that are still in, let's just kind of take you over. You might see that this skin looks a little bit different to what you're used to. So we play attributeless. The skin that I make, instead of having attributes, we have icons. With if they're excellent, if they're above 16, it's a big white dot. If it's a kind of bright green dot, it means their attributes between 11 and 15. If it's one of these smaller ones, it's between 6 and 10. And these really small dark dots are 1 to 5. So we're playing with a little bit of a handicap in that respect, and we focus more on players' performance statistics. So subsequently, I probably make a lot of bad decisions. But here we go. Let's have a look now. This is going to be a mixture of starters and reserves. We're going to bring in Artie Marty, our backup goalkeeper we've just signed. We're going to see, can we get all of these guys on the bench? We can indeed. We are going to see Person at left back. We don't have space for Stavitsky, which means that Fart Tuner, that's his real name. I haven't changed it. His name is genuinely Boris Fartuna. Boris Fartuna. No editing whatsoever. Crazy. And Scoglin's return can be in full swing, so we'll look at Dejan there. Let's pop in and see how we get on. Hopefully. Now, Sarpsborg are considered to be a larger team than us, so hopefully we can put in a good show. I assume that the reason why they're available in February is because they're not in an active league. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Fortuna is such a good name. Surely not up to the hype Adam bought for him. Now, I will defend Adam here immensely. So he was quite good for us at AC Moneyball, which is saying a lot because AC Moneyball were rubbish. We really need a Fortune. We do. I mean, because the word fortune runs nicely, that's almost certainly got to be the route, isn't it? Although the Bartman and Batman comments certainly something we can do there as well. Right, here he is. Here is Fortuna. Gets the cross into the far post. Karkinen heads it over. We're very bad at winning. We're very good at winning our headers. Very bad at getting them on target. That's a Fortuna I mean, you do need to sometimes distinguish between the near tuner, the middle distance tuner, and the far tuner. Indeed, Kokusmosh. Surprised he doesn't play for middle far. That's a fair point. We were looking at someone from middle far as well, weren't we? I can't remember what his name was. Was it Hadi Karim? But I don't think we ended up scouting him in the end. Maybe we could have done a swap deal. Come on the ham, says Crodmo. Indeed. Fortuna, best player on the pitch already after 5 minutes. He's certainly done some good things. I mean, we seem to be moving the ball quite nicely. There's Lundberg. That's normally the spot he scores from. You don't want him having a really easy chance. Right, I mean, again, as I said, I think Sarpsborg aren't in an active league, so we can't necessarily gauge the quality. But even going toe-to-toe with them and they're not full detail, you kind of feel like this is a pretty decent start. We're seeing some nice things, even with our reserve players here, which means we're about to do something really stupid. Let's see, can Kumetio make amends for his horrendous mistake that cost us the game? Lundberg heads it on, Skoglund's in behind. Skoglund, what a finish! Albin Skoglund! Oh, that was nice. That was nice. Ironically, we're not distributing to the target forward, and we've seen a long ball forwards. Lundberg heads it on. Skoglund takes it down, then takes it early with his weaker foot and volleys it right into the top corner. What a goal! They're going suggesting it might have been offside? He was miles on. Miles on, I tell you. Fortuna with the cross. Lundberg leaps like a salmon. It sorely could have gone in. Indeed, surely could have gone in. That makes more sense. What a goal indeed. Proper kick and rush. There we go. There's the trick to getting them to send the ball to the target forward, is don't ask them to send the ball to the target forward. Right, and back to Kumetio. Here's Lundberg. We're just playing it in diagonals until we lose the ball. Kumetio, those steps in. Good work there. Lundberg. Can he find the run of someone? No, he takes a shot from distance with his weaker foot. An interesting decision. Here we go. Now we know that throw-ins are overpowered. Karkinen to the far post. Oh, was that a... Okay, it took a deflection. That's fine. Hydrate. Bear me one moment. To hydrate, I'll need to open another can. Let me just mute the mic. Thank you, RJ. So yeah, pretty decent start so far. I'm kind of happy with that. Indeed, Quadmo. Indeed. Lundberg's. We might need to see if we can. Maybe do we ask Lundberg to shoot less often? Because he's not meant to be that kind of take aim from distance kind of player. He has taken a couple of pot shots from outside the box, whereas we want him to link play and then just get himself in the mixer. He's the man in the box after all. Right, another throw-in routine. Back to Persson. Persson swings it in. Fortuna with a header. Boris Fortuna. Boris Fortuna. What a name. What a man. What a name. What a man. And there it is. It's a set piece. We'll take it as it comes. Nobody actually jumped for it. He all I can say is that defender isn't him. That defender isn't him. Pretty solid first half. I'm happy. Which players need... So, Enquist needs a bit more game time. Juhi needs game time. Stavitsky on his return. Rockman needs game time. So does Skoglund at the moment. So Karkinen doesn't. So we'll swap those two around. Slayman needs game time. Jimmy Slayman. These, like, seriously, how are all these names so amazing? Queaton can come on for Wrighton as well. So, there we go. Lots of changes. Fartuna, just fart. What a name, what a name. What a mighty good name. What a name, what a name, what a name, what a mighty fine name. We can do that. We could definitely... Can we fit fart into that somewhere? Because that would... If we could, like, work the lyrics all the way through, that would be amazing. Flamar Hattie incoming, reckons Ladislav Almaty fan. That is some optimism there indeed. Right, nice bit of play. Managed to break through the press and then we went backwards, undid the work. But here's Savalainen. Savalainen carries it into the space. Savalainen going to play it down the line? No, he's not. He's going backwards. He's going backwards, and here's Kumetjo. Spreads it out to Engqvist. Engqvist waits for the ball to come rather than meeting it, and we go backwards once again. Here's Savalainen. Savalainen's got space to run, but no, he goes backwards. Savalainen, this time he plays it down the line. Here's Stavitsky. It's not the Stavitsky. His cross finds Rockman. Rockman denied by Ota. Oh, we have a song for Rockman as well that we never get to use, bless him. What a time to join back. What a time indeed, Paddy. What a time. So, Crudmo, I can't remember. Do you have work ball into box selected? If not, I put Lundberg on shoot less often. We don't have work ball into box. See, I don't mind players shooting from distance. I just don't want Lundberg to be the one. As Sarpsborg pull one back from a corner. He is him. Him crosses it in. Caps Garmo, heads it. The man on the post does nothing. Nothing, I tell you. That was Adam Juhi. Get him off the post. That's it. That's the one. That's the one indeed. RJ, I just noticed Juve didn't lose a game in Serie A this year, and yet only 6th. Is that really true? What about if you replace a man by a Musk, since it's Fortuna? What a Musk, what a Musk. That could work as well. I quite liked what a name, but what a Musk could work. That could definitely work. It's about whether we can get the next sentences to include Fortuna somewhere. So they've had 7 wins and 11 draws, Juve. Incredible stuff. Right, are we about to throw away this unimportant friendly, or is Savalainen about to do something amazing? Savalainen, he could have carried on running. He had the legs on the man. Right, Stavitsky has got a yellow card. He's going to stay on because it's only a friendly. Let's have a look at what players we could bring on. We could bring on Lofgren. Lofgren can come on there. We could bring on Holmberg. We've got our backup defence out there now. We could look to bring on Nunes, could we? There we go. If we do something like that, we have Willie Nunes as he can play as an attacking midfielder, just so that he's getting some minutes into those legs, as they say. And then we'll bring off Fonsell because he's played most of the game. Something like that would be all right. All right, I'm sure. Let's just push the tempo. Let's try and do something in the last 15 minutes just to end the competition if we can. 11 draws in 18 games is crazy. It really is. As smooth as a crooner, he's Fortuna. That could work. That could work indeed. Oh, there we go. As Holmberg, that was very relaxed from the goalkeeper. I'll gather this now. It's fine. Right, Sarpsborg come for us now, but no, they lose out. Rockman, can he spread it out to Stavitsky? He can, but Stavitsky just stands still. But it's okay, because now it's run through to Engqvist. Is Engqvist going to try and cross-play again? We are looking to go right. Juhi out to Holmberg. Holmberg has space to carry. Holmberg's got a mighty fine beard for a 17-year-old there. Plays it back to Queaton. We're back into this pattern, this holding pattern, where we pass it between our fullback and back again. And we found Nunes. Nunes found Stavitsky. Stavitsky with the low cross. It's deflected and Ota pushes it behind. A close shave for Thibaut, apparently. So if I'm not good with metrics on a second language, it works beautifully, my dude. It works good. And what's the match you should watch tonight? Ipswich versus Chelsea or United versus Newcastle? I mean, I think United-Newcastle is likely to be a more competitive game. So that should be, in theory, more useful. As Sarpsborg come away here, chance to counter-attack in the last few minutes. Great challenge from Engqvist, holds them up. But here's Arga. Martin gets there. I thought we were about to see the goalkeeper completely flap and miss. But it's okay. We send it long. And here's Sell, plays it into Scholstedt. Lisso back to Sell. Sell is going to play it long, and Pisarski is behind. That's a great challenge from Holmberg. It is a corner though. Into the last few moments, Salzburg are really starting to push the screw now in these last few moments. RJ is recommending Villa Brighton. Definitely not. Cheesy, says Ladislav Almasi fan. I mean, you're not expecting quality, are you? Cheesy is where it's at. I have zero affiliation to either side. At least I strongly dislike United and Chelsea. So yeah, you have Musterman. I'm a Villa boy, so come watch the Villa game. I think the Villa game will be entertaining. Both Villa and Brighton are very open teams. So everyone strongly dislikes United and Chelsea. Holifab takes exception to that. Shush, I'm a United fan and Vitesse and Ferrari. Here's the cross to the far post. Scholstad gets it clear. Are any of these highlights actually going to result in something? Maybe it is. Rockman shoots and there's a block. I don't know if the keeper saved it as well. So you're going to be late for your Pizza and Villa game. I am, Crodmo. We're going to finish this game and then we're going to shoot off. So Stavitsky with the cross to the far post. Queaton can't get there. Scholstad comes away with the ball, plays it forwards, and that's intercepted by Queaton. Oh, do we really need more highlights? Just blow the whistle, ref. Owusu sends it forwards. Here's Lofgren. Lofgren plays it into Stavitsky. Stavitsky goes round the outside, but gets cut out. And here we go. That's got to be time. There's just 5 seconds left now. This is merely the last few seconds. Well, hey, 2-1. Not a bad result against where are Sarpsborg in the Elite Series. So their season hasn't started either. But they're not a bad team, are they? Oh, they are a bad team. They finished just above the relegation zone last season. But still, the Elite Series is a far better league than their Vickers Liga. So got to be pretty pleased with that. Lots of dominance and control overall. Yeah, not too bad. I think we're onto something with this system. Even if we've lost a couple of games, I think we're doing all right. So okay, there we go. There we have it. It's the end of the stream. So as always, a huge thank you for everyone who came around. I'm going to do the same thing that I always do. So YouTube, we're going to end here. First with you guys. Thank you so much for dropping along. Been lovely to have you along, whether it's been this stream or elsewhere during the course of 2024. I hope you all have a wonderful new year. We'll be back on New Year's Day, 7 p.m. GMT. Love to see you. Perhaps a little bit hungover, perhaps a little bit exhausted because you've had kids running around, perhaps just quite chill because you did nothing and you just had to relax, and it's not really that special a day anyway. I will hopefully see you on Wednesday.